Okay. So let's continue our contemplation on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, and Atma Gnana. So what is Atma Gnana? Anybody?
Knowledge about the truth.
Knowledge about truth. Okay, what is the truth?
Truth is, what is it called? The only supreme Parabrahman.
Parabrahman.
All this is Maya. That is the truth.
all this is Maya, that is the truth. Okay, so the reality is Brahman, pure consciousness, and the Brahma Satya, and everything else is Mithya, Maya. World is a Mithya, illusion, not real. And Atma, you, Jivo Brahmayana Panaparaha. Atma, yourself, Jiva is Brahman, Atma is Paramatma. Okay, this is all there is. No matter what, every spiritual journey from any path will, the ultimate end is this. So Vedanta declares it very clearly. Tattvamasi. That's why it's called Vedanta, end of all knowledge. After this, there is no more knowledge. Okay, so if you're expecting more, it'll be below this. The point of Vedanta is the last frontier. Okay, it is end of all knowledge, because it is the end of the knower. Okay, there's no more knowing possible after you know the self, because there's nothing else to know. And what is there to know? To know that Atma is Paramatma and Jagat is Mithya. There's nothing more to know. To know that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not what I think I am pure consciousness. And nothing has ever happened to me. I am birthless, deathless, eternal, and I have always been like that. Nothing has ever happened. So Vedanta declares it very clearly, and the focus of Vedanta is very clear, bringing the attention, awareness to this point, that I am not the body, mind, intellect, I am pure consciousness. There is no other topic entertained in Vedanta. Okay, it's the end. The whole focus is ending the knowledge, not allowing the mind to dive into more projections. Okay, so it's a unlearning process. It is dismantling the mental concepts, and through this process of Vedanta, it's not that you will get the truth. Through this process, you will dismantle what is untruth, what is anatma, and Atma what remains is Atma. There's nothing you can do to get Atma. All you have to do is dismantle your wrong experiences or beliefs and thought patterns. So Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya, and Jiva is Brahman. That's all there is. But I feel like I don't experience that. So Vedanta says your consciousness, that is the reality. The world is unreal, but that is not my experience. So the journey that is not my experience is the state of ignorance. Okay. But the state of ignorance is just like a covering. It's not that you have lost anything. The truth is just hidden. And then that covering is slowly removed by Atma Gnana, by the teaching. That's called Paroksha Gnana. Paroksha Gnana is very, very important, because without Paroksha Gnana, you will not be able to get clarity on the reality. Okay, so Paroksha Gnana leads to Aparoksha Gnana. So Agnana, from Agnana, that not knowing of my true self and thinking the world is real, to Aparoksha Gnana, where because of the Guru and the Satsang, you get the understanding. So all the major work happens here. Okay, so many times the moment of Paroksha Gnana becomes the moment of Aparoksha Gnana. The moment the disciple hears the teaching, in that moment, instantaneously, the the construction of the mind is dismantled. Or the ignorance disappears. It might come back again because the person is not stabilized, but the moment of paroksha gnana itself many times becomes aparoksha gnana, meaning realization. Okay, so agnana to paroksha gnana to aparoksha gnana. Aparoksha gnana is mukti, enlightenment. Okay, is the journey clear? And Vedanta's focus is only this. And in paroksha gnana, it is paroksha gnana. It is only teaching. The right understanding will remove the wrong understanding, nothing else. And the right understanding is based on the experience that you're familiar with. That's why Vedanta doesn't emphasize any special, it doesn't associate any special room for having some extraordinary experiences like samadhi or stopping of the breath, stopping of the mind, nothing like that. In your day-to-day life, interacting with the world, you should be able to realize the truth. That is the approach of Vedanta. Is it clear? And that is also the approach of Bhagavad Gita, wherein Sri Krishna is giving the wisdom without changing any external situation of Arjuna. Okay, there is no magic in Vedanta that God will come and do some magic and remove all your suffering and then will touch your head and you will become enlightened. Nothing like that. In Vedanta, the message is you are Bhagwan. Why are you behaving like this? You are the one who is creating all this. Okay, so all the responsibility and spotlight is on you. So there's no way you can blame it on anybody. Typically in a religious context, you can blame why God put us into this mess. Okay, God, please remove out of this mess. So there is no room for duality in Vedanta. It is the approach of non-duality to understand reality, which is non-dual. Reality is non-dual. But I am experiencing duality. So how do I correct that? It's only a matter of correction that is required. And the correction is only in the way of thinking and seeing. No other correction is required. No other practice or extra effort is required. Okay, no leaving of the house and family, no dress change, okay, no wearing of some special ornaments, nothing is required. No fasting, none of that is required. Just gnana, shravana, manana, nididhyasa. Listening, understanding, and establishing, staying in the truth. Is this clear? Pratik?
Yes, I have a question. I mean, on this thing, means when we attend the session, that the ignorance part is, I mean, that is removed for the session part, but then it again comes back. The establishment part is not there.
Yeah.
How to practice that so that it stays? I mean, for a longer period of time.
Yeah. So the longer period, so that it stays with you, the only way, see, I said the process of Vedanta is same, is simple. Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa. So more Shravana, if it's possible, or when there's no teaching happening, contemplation, and sitting in silence. Okay, there's no other way. So how do I retain this? Is you either wait for the next session or you create the sessions within you. Okay. Of course, there are other ways that you can read the text, read the scriptures. When there is no person teaching, you can always go to the books. Okay, there are I can share some links on the group. Some Vedantic text you can, so that way, not even entire book, maybe just thinking about one message of Vedanta will keep the mind engaged. Otherwise, whenever you're interacting with the world, you bring more and more awareness of your true self. I will discuss that today. We'll discuss the part about, first of all, I understand because Vedanta declares, because the scriptures declare Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya and Jiva is Brahman, I understand that. First, my first problem is, although that might be true, because of the great people say so, I do not experience it. Okay, so your first problem is, I do not experience it. Let me get clarity on that. That is first step. Once I get clarity on that, retaining that clarity is not a big deal. Okay, but through the process of this interaction is when you will lose a lot of clutter of the mind. Okay, and more this happens, you will come to a stage when the mind doesn't come up again with its patterns. You understand? So what you're saying is, when the Paroksha Gnana is happening, your impressions, so what I call as vasanas, or what the scriptures call it as vasanas. Have you heard the word called vasana? I have also used it multiple times. Vasana means a lot of impressions, mental impressions of the mind. So because of Paroksha Gnana, the impressions become weakened. The more and more Shravana happens, the impressions become weakened, and they will continue to come up, but they will also die back, go back soon. Unlike before, when the impression comes, you get possessed by the impression and some action happens, then you come to a stage where you see, okay, I should not have done that, or how did this happen? So through Atma Gnana, when the impression comes up, that's why it's called enlightenment. It's you're illumined. You're able to see the rising of the impression and have a choice not to react to it. And the deeper it gets, they'll come to a stage where the impression, you'll be able to see it at a very subtle stage. Meaning the program unfolds, like it doesn't just come, it unfolds within you. Take the example of anger, for example. Anger starts as a feeling, small feeling in the body. Think of it like tsunami. You know how tsunami starts? It's a very harmless movement of the wave, and then it grows and grows and grows and snowballs and becomes a tsunami. So at the tsunami stage, you can't control it. Yes. The vasana at the full manifest stage, you can't do anything about it. Of course, you can become a witness to it, but because of gnana, you'll be able to see it rising at the initial stage itself, and it will die out at that stage. Okay, that is what is called freedom from karma. That is the karma. Vasana coming and distorting your life is karma. As thoughts, as emotions, as feelings, as distractions within you. That is the karma that you experience. You understand? So that will die because of clarity, because the light of the self now shines more. So don't worry about the vasana. Focus more on the light, Atma Gnana. That is the solution. Okay?
Yeah.
So what is that we're trying to achieve? We're trying to bridge the gap. So there is a reality which is spoken by the scriptures and the enlightened ones. There is something that I experience. Somehow they're not matching. Okay? Somehow they're not matching. I feel like an individual. I suffer, whereas Atma has no suffering. I experience duality, whereas in reality it's non-dual. I experience pain and suffering and birth and death, while the self is beyond all that. Okay, so what is happening? How can I make this blend them, or how can I remove the ignorance so that I experience reality? This is Vedanta. Clear? So how do you
one
do that?
question, Krishnaji, on when we talk about non-duality is one thing that is understood, but whenever I think when I contemplate on the doership, if I'm not what I am, but then if I'm Brahman, and then Brahman is doing whatever is happening, for example, then you are doing what is happening. So what you said before. So would the karma then not be attached to oneself in that case?
We'll understand
Because
that.
you believe you are doing it yourself, because you are part of Brahman, and Brahman is doing all of this, for example.
Yeah.
It could be in the dream, but then it could, it's if Brahma is the creator of everything, Brahman. So are you not accepting the doership of what is happening and attach karma to yourself?
Okay, so we'll resolve all that. We'll discuss all that today. So there is a Brahman, the supreme reality. There is what he says, I am the doer, I. Then there is the results, karma, which is to do with the world. So we will bring clarity on all these 3-4 entities. Okay?
Yeah.
That is the whole point of Atmajnana, is that you have to become crystal clear about about these concepts. Once they are clear, the mind does not create any more projections. Okay, so to give you an example, there was a scientist called sorry, not a scientist, mathematician called John Nash. He won the Nobel Prize. They also made a movie on him called A Beautiful Mind. Have you heard of the person called John Nash? So John Nash had a disease called schizophrenia, wherein he would see people and interact with people that are not there in real life. And he had a very he suffered because of that disease, because he is afraid many times that people are trying to conspire against him and things like that. But at one point, what happens is, in his projection, he keeps talking to a small girl. Okay, and he thinks she's real. For him, she's as real as anybody else. He can see her, he can talk to her. She's like a real person, but it's not real. It's his own projection. It's a part of the disease. He slowly realizes after some time that he's growing old, but the girl is not aging. The girl is the same. That makes him question, oh, there's something wrong. I am aging, everybody else is aging. This girl is not aging. That means she's not real. Okay? So in Maya, in the projection, there are many glitches. You know what's a glitch? So sometimes there's a movie going on. There is some glitch, there's some error in the transmission. Even in the TV, when you're playing a video game, there's a glitch, there's a transmission error. That time you'll see, the experience is not seamless. You catch that it's unreal. Okay, that same thing happens in life with multiple scenarios. The whole world is actually a projection, and there are enough glitches. All you have to do is catch the glitch and trace it, see that it's unreal, and inquire what is reality. Okay, what is the glitch? One glitch is, you see that you say, I am the body, but the body was this much, now it is this much. After some time, it will be older, then it dies. But nothing ever happens to I am. You say I am, when you were a 2-3-year-old child, 4-year-old child, you say I am. When you're 10-year-old, you say I am. When you're 20-year-old, you say I am. So that I am is not aging. The body is aging. Okay, this is an example of the glitch. So the Vedanta Prakriya is about, catching these glitches. So the prakriyas are inquiring into these glitches. One glitch is the glitch of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. So you see that I am jumping from one state to another, changing my body, changing everything, experiencing a projected world, dropping that world, moving into another world, again moving from there to a completely different world where there is no projection at all, deep sleep. So that is called avastatraya prakriya, where you inquire into the glitch of the three states. Then there's the glitch of I am the body. Then there's a glitch called I am the doer. If you inquire into that glitch, you will find out who is the real doer, how I am not the doer. Okay, they're different. The Maya is not perfect. The unreality is right in front of your face, but you're not able to catch it. Like how John Nash, this girl is right in front of him, but the wisdom that, oh, she's not aging, brought a transformation in him. He was able to understand the disease and understand it's unreal. You understand what I mean? So Vedanta is a process of catching these gaps, catching these mistakes or weak points in Maya. And there are many. They're right in front of your eyes. You understand? So I am the doer is also a false belief. The I am the doer is a later part. First, let's look at what I am. So you say I am the doer. When you say I am the doer, you're associating I am with the body. Okay? Because I am can't do anything. Ultimately, who is the doer? Body is the doer. Body does. Correct? If you say I did something, it is using the body and mind, the action has happened. Okay? But there are so many entities at play, you don't know what you are. First of all, you don't know what you are, what you really are. Then there is a superimposition of what you are. You say, you think I am the body at some times. Then you think I am the mind. Then you have some mental image of yourself. You think I am that. So there's a lot of that I am gets associated with so many things. While the I am is a reflection of consciousness. Okay, that's what we discussed in the last class, which we'll inquire into again. So the I am getting mixed up with a lot of entities, with the body, with the mind, with the intellect, starts thinking, I am the doer, I am the experiencer, I am the knower. Okay, and this is false. This is mithya. This is unreal. You are experiencing your own mental modification. Just the way John Nash, the schizophrenic person, is experiencing his own mental creation, exactly like that, you are experiencing your own projection. You will experience it until you point out there's a glitch and see through it. Is it clear? Making sense? Mohan? So I can't see Mohan's face.
Yeah, I don't have Wi-Fi, so I'm using my hotspot.
Okay. So let us see what are these glitches, and let's get clarity on I am, and what is my relationship with the body, mind, action, world, results, karma, and Bhagwan. Okay, so this is where I said this is why the teaching or the inquiry or contemplation on Chidabhasa is very important. Chidabhasa puts everything into perspective to understand what is Chidabhasa, and also to understand Chidabhasa means I am, which we covered in the last session. We'll cover it again, and we'll understand the relationship with I am, how it interacts with all these other entities, and all entities, including Chidabhasa, is part of mithya. Is part of mithya. Nothing is real. Nothing at all is real apart from Brahman. Everything is a part of the projection. Okay, so you're just trying to put certain key players in this projection into perspective and move out of it. Clear? Okay, so let me tell you a story.
Sorry. So last time
Yeah.
when you told the reflection and all that, even that is Maya. About Chidabhasa, when you told the reflection,
Chidabhasa,
even that is Maya.
part of Maya. Chidabhasa and the mind are projection. See, the reality is only Brahman, Sat. Okay, it's called existence. So let's start from the beginning, the very, very, very beginning. How all this started. Okay, there is only Brahman. There was, is, and always be. From Brahman's point of view, there is only Brahman. Okay, it's called Sat, existence. Parabrahman. Parabrahman is beyond. Brahman, the word Brahman, because it is, from our point of view, it's just a name given to the reality. Brahman means infinite and beyond infinite. It's no word can describe what the reality is. That is what you are. You are the Supreme. What it is, you can't tell. Okay? And for the Sat cannot know or see itself. Just the way your eyes can see everything. Eyes see everything. But eyes can never see themselves. Can the eyes see themselves? Eyes will see a reflection, but the reflected is not the real. The eyes can never see the real eye. So for Brahman has no way to know, experience it's himself or herself. The Brahman cannot know, and Brahman is called as Brahman, Parabrahman, Sadashiva, Adi Parakshakti, Tripura, various different names, Narayana. And so the reality has no way to know itself. So in Sat, and that is the reality that is always the same. So now the reality, in reality, appears a Chit. So there is only Sat, then Chit appears in the Sat. In existence, there is Chit. Chit means consciousness. That the Sat becomes Chit. Chit means the principle of knowing. It is the principle of knowing. It has the ability to know and illumine. In Sat, the Chit appears. The Chit is also called as Aham, the eye of the Brahman. Okay, but the Parabrahman is beyond even that. So the Brahman says, I, and there is no other in Brahman, and that's why there's no real saying of I, because I you say in the context of there is something else. But in Brahman there cannot be anything. There's nothing else. It's like this, space. So what is space? Imagine space. Space is all pervading, infinite. Okay, everything is space. Everything is in space. Now Brahman is beyond that space. Brahman is the one that projects the space. Okay, now that initial space is, think of it like Brahman first had a visualization of space. That's the first thing. It's like a canvas. Before an artist starts the painting, they stretch out a canvas. Space is the canvas of Brahman in which everything gets projected. Okay, now in that Sat appears a Chit. Okay, the consciousness, knowing. Then appears Chitta. Chitta is individual consciousness. Okay, now the individual consciousness the Brahm starts projecting through the individual conscious. The Chit projects a world which is called as Maya, which is called as the entire universe, Brahmanda. Now, to experience the Brahmanda, Brahman projects jivas, individuals, and Brahman enters the individual to experience the world. Similar to, you are sleeping, you have a dream. In the dream, you enter a dream body to experience a dream world. Otherwise, there's no way to experience it. You understand? And in the process of entering the dream body as jiva, Brahman forgets himself. Okay, and becomes jiva. Shiva becomes jiva because the mind takes over. Now, because the mind only can see the created, not the creator. Okay, and that's when the avarana and vikshepa happens. There is a forgetfulness of the true nature of Brahman. And Brahman, when I say enters into your body, the Brahman reflects in your body mind as I am. The I am that you have is actually a reflection of Parabrahman. The sun it reflects in the pond. So let's say there are 10 ponds. The sun reflects in the pond. That reflected sun and the pond is called as jiva. The sun has to reflect in you, Brahman has to reflect in you to experience the world through your body-mind complex. Now, and that reflection, that reflected consciousness in you is called Chidabhasa or I am. So far, is it clear? So far, any doubt? Sat. In Sat appeared Chit. In Chit appeared Chitta. Chitta means individual consciousness. Okay. Think of it as the sleeping, the waking you right now goes to sleep and imagines a dream world. That's a dream world. Then there is a dream mind and body, and you take on that dream mind and body to experience the dream world. This is the journey. Okay. Now, this is entry. And after you enter, you forget what is reality. Let's say you spend too much time in the virtual reality. There's a virtual reality headset, let's say, and you spend too much time into it. You'll forget the real reality, meaning the waking reality. You're in a more projected reality. You understand? So that's where the journey of the jiva starts. So now the jiva, forgetting that I am is actually a reflection of Brahman, starts associating with the thoughts in the mind, starts associating with the body, and starts becoming, it becomes a doer, it becomes the enjoyer, it becomes a thinker, it takes on karma. Then when the body dies, it takes on another body to fulfill the desires of the mind, and the game is endless. The cycle, this is called the cycle of birth and rebirth, birth and rebirth. And like this, billions of years have gone. But nothing has happened to Brahman. This billions of years also from the point of view of the individual. From Brahman's perspective, nothing has happened to Brahman. Clear so far?
Krishna ji, if Brahman wanted to experience, he could have done with only one individual soul. Why is he making to be born so many 7.2 billion people now are suffering?
Okay, so all that is from the point of view of the dream character. For example, let's say you go into sleep, and in the dream you saw a dream world and 7.2 billion people. Okay, in your dream also there are 7.2 billion people, correct? A little less or maybe a little more as well. In the dream, not only human beings are there, some fairies and other creatures are also there. So more than 7.2 billion creatures are there. right? Now, from the perspective of the dream character, the dreaming Pallavi, all this is happening, and there is a separation. There are 7.2 billion jivas. From the perspective of the waking, how many are there?
No, this is my waking state, right? I'm seeing 7.2 billion people.
No, that's what I'm telling. Your waking state is actually a dream state.
Okay.
Your real waking state is non-duality.
Okay. Okay.
I'll
If I
clarify
wake
that.
from
When you wake up from this, that is what is enlightenment, to wake up from this dream.
Hmm.
And we are using the example of your other dream to wake up from this dream. Okay? So we'll come to that part. We'll answer the question. I got the question.
Okay.
See, the question is about I am seeing so many objects. We'll come to the objects part. And now I'm only talking about the subject. In Brahman, there is no, in pure reality, in Sat, in Brahman, there is no object and no subject. Okay? There is no subject in Brahman. First, subject means I. Object means something else, something that I see. So what is an object? What is an object?
A non-living thing, we can say, for argument's sake.
No. Whatever is not me is an object to me. For example, whatever I see is not me. Is that part clear? Whatever I see the phone, it is not me. I see the other person, I see it is not me. So whatever I see is not me. The seer, me, is a subject. The seen, person or thing, is an object. Okay? Both. The seer is me, subject. The seen, be it living, non-living, whatever, is an object. Is this part clear, everybody? The seen is the object. It's called drishya. The seer is the subject. It's called drik. Okay? Now in Brahman, there is no drik, neither drishya, because Brahman has nothing to see. The sleeping Pallavi has nothing to see. The dreaming Pallavi has a dream world to see. Okay? The sleeping you is the dream world, is the dream you, and is the dream people. So in that sense, the waking you has nothing to see. The waking you doesn't see the dream. Who sees the dream in the dream?
Sleeping me.
The dream character you.
Dream character.
Okay, so the waker has no interest in the dream world and the dream character, because the waker is the dream world and the dream character. Who created the dream world? When you dream, the dream world is your waker's projection, right?
Yeah.
Is the waking Pallavi's projection is the dream world.
Yeah.
And as a part of that projection is the dreaming Pallavi.
Yes.
So both the dream subject, dream object is the projection of the one beyond the subject and object, which is the waking you.
Yeah.
Is everybody following? So Brahman projects a subject, or rather not projects, Brahman doesn't do it actively. In Brahman appears a subject and an object. Okay, a seer and seen. Okay, we'll come to the seen part. We'll first address the seer. Journey clear so far? In Brahman appears a subject, which is I, which the subject is always seer, I am, I. And then there is seen. The seen is next level reflection. The first reflection of Brahman is, now for the Brahman to reflect, he needs a reflecting surface. Okay, for example, there is sun, and you are in space. You're in space, let's say you're heading towards the sun, and you face the other side. what will you see? Pratik, what will you see if you're facing away from the sun and the light is coming from behind? Okay, will you see anything? Shanti ji?
No, it will be darkness.
It will be pitch dark. Space, it's pitch dark in space, even though the sun is behind you. Why?
Because there is no surface to reflect the light.
The sunlight needs a reflecting surface. Only then there should be an obstruction for the light to reflect and for you to see the object. In Brahman, there cannot be an obstruction because there is nothing in Brahman to obstruct. So whatever obstruction is there is only an imaginary obstruction. It's a projection. Okay? This projection, the first projection, is called mind. It's called the reflecting surface. It's a universal mind. Okay? In Brahman, that's why in Narayana, the sleeping Narayana, from the womb of Narayana, there is a Brahmaji coming out. Have you seen that picture? From the womb of Narayana, Brahmaji is coming out. Brahmaji refers to the creator, the one who creates the entire world. And who is this creator? It's the reflecting surface. The mind is the creator, the universal mind. Okay? And it's all a dream. That's also part of the dream. So there is a reflecting surface, and in that, the moment the reflecting surface comes, the reflection starts happening. For example, let's say there is a transparent glass right in front of you. Do you see a reflection? You don't see. The moment you paint the glass from behind, the moment the glass starts becoming mirror, that moment you start seeing the reflection. You understand what I mean? So there is a transparent glass. Light is glowing through it. Okay. Let's say you put the mirror strap or the paint from behind. It becomes a mirror. The moment it becomes a mirror, the moment it becomes a reflecting surface. It shows the reflection. So in Brahman, the mind is a reflecting surface. It reflects Brahman. And what is that reflection? There is a reflected consciousness in the mind, and that reflected consciousness is called Chidabhasa. Example, again, sunlight, pond. The pond is the structure of the pond is the body. The water in the pond is the mind. Okay? And the reflection of the sun in the pond is called Chidabhasa, or I am, the I am feeling that you have. And what is the nature of that I am feeling that you have? It is. You have a feeling of isness, I am, existence. Right? That is Sat. That Sat never disappears. I am, you say I am, you say I am, she says I am, you say I am. Everybody says the same I am. Is my I am different from your I am? The experience of I am that I have is the same experience of I am that you have, that I exist. The isness is Sat, is Brahman, is I am. And that isness is self-luminous. It is not dependent on any object or subject. Even if you don't know anything, your existence is always known to you. Okay? Your existence is primary, Sat. The knowing of your existence is Chit. I know I exist is Chit. But this I know I exist, because the reflection, now the reflection in the pond, now instead of knowing itself as the sun, starts knowing itself as the body and mind. Okay? Then it becomes an individual. So I am, individual means I am, which is Brahman, which is Sat and Chit, plus body and mind. This confusion or this superimposition is called individual. So what you say when you say I, me, I do, I think, and all that, this is what is happening. The I, real I, is neither thinking, neither doing, neither experiencing. It only is. Okay? The mind is having thoughts, the body is doing something. So everything is mixed up. The I am is mixed up with the body and mind. And this is called individual. This is called, the I am is the reflection, and the reflected surface is the mind. And the body is the one who is a container of the reflected surface and the Chidabhasa, which is I am. Now mukti is the Chidabhasa realizing I am not the body mind. So what it does, it no longer entertains the suggestions and prompts of the vasanas of the mind. It no longer moves along or empowers the body and mind to continue its games. So the empowering of the body of the vasanas stop, and it starts knowing itself as I am Brahman. This is called mukti. Understand? So in a real sense, the individual does not exist. Now the beautiful part is there is one more character who comes. Pati, Patni or wo. Right? Pati, Patni hai to theek hai. Chidabhasa and mind is fine. Pati and Patni is fine because that's there for the Brahman to experience the world. The wo comes in. The third character. Okay, the wo is ego, ahankara. Okay, and the beauty of this ego is, or the reality of this ego is, it doesn't exist. First of all, it's not there. What is the ego? What do you mean when you say ego? What is your understanding of ego?
Someone who is more, so when we experience more, when we try to be more self-conscious, more worried about the self.
That is emotion. That is egoistic. You're talking about ego. Ego is ahamkara.
We are existing.
No. I am is the Chidabhasa. Okay, that's why Sanskrit is a beautiful language. It segregates everything clearly. I am is Chidabhasa. Mind is buddhi and mind. Deha is body. And ego is ahamkara. It's called ahankara. Ahankara means the
Doership.
feeling of I am, the thought of I thought. So there is a I thought that comes in you. So let's take the example of seeing something. Subject, object, and process of seeing. There are three things. Seer, seen, process of seeing. Ego is I am seeing. The thought that I am seeing is the ego. Who is seeing? And that I am seeing, the ego says, first, who is seeing? I am seeing. Who is I am? Shirt. Skin. Body. Okay, but I am is not body. The eyes are seeing. Can the eyes see? Do the eyes have any power to see? Let's say in a dead body, eyes are there. Can the dead body see anything? Right? So you say, I am the body. That I am the body is the thought, I thought, wherein the ego is borrowed I am from Chidabhasa, and it's borrowed body mind from the nature projection, and it's taking ownership of these two things, and it takes the ownership moment to moment. Meaning, you say, now I said, I see the phone. Now I put down the phone. I don't see the phone. Now I say, I see the phone again. Now I put down the phone. The person who told, I see the phone the first time, and the person who told, I see the phone the second time, are they the same? Two different I thoughts appeared and disappeared. And that appearing and disappearing I thought is called ahamkara. It's not there. It's not, and because of the memory, so the mind also has another faculty called memory. Because of the memory, this appearing and disappearing I thoughts stitches a story that I am living, I am continuous. But that I am who is really living is Chidabhasa, I am, pure I am. This is the problem. The problem is there is Chidabhasa, which is the reflect, which is Sat, which is the unchanging I, which never changes, which is same when you were a baby, when you are old, when you're young, when you die, even the next lifetime, you say the same I am. Okay? That I am is the I am, and that is non-dual. There is no two I ams. So in your dream, you see there are, forget dream. In the waking state, there are 7 billion people. Are there 7 billion I ams? Pallavi?
Everybody is thinking I am separately, right?
Everybody's I am is the same. Everybody's claiming the same I am. Everybody's superimposing that I am with something else. You understand? And when we say everybody is not the body. There are not 7 billion people. There are 7 billion bodies. Okay? The body is not the people. You are not the body. This is the first and fundamental teaching glitch that you have to see. You are not the body. How can you be the body? If you are the body, you had to change as the body changed. In 10 years, not a single cell of the body remains the same. Every single cell is a new cell. In 7 to 10 years, it's a new body. Okay, but you say, I am still. So there is something unchanging in you, even though the body is changing. How can you say, I am the changing body? Are you the body? You're the body. If you are the body, you say, I am the body. When the person dies, if the body is the person, you say there are 7 billion people, no? If the body itself is, there are 7 billion bodies, what you can see. If the body itself is a person, when the person dies, why don't you keep the body in the house? The body is still there. Does anybody keep the body? How long before the body is discarded? When the person dies?
No. What I meant to say was now there are 7 billion projections from the Brahman.
No. I'll come to that. So see, first understand, the body is not the person. Body is not you. When the body dies, you don't even keep the body for 2 days. Okay? The person is something that is using the body. And who is that person? It is a combination of I am, which is the reflection of Brahman, and the mind. Okay, this combination is called Jiva, person, which you cannot see. Okay, now the reflection, the I am, is not many. There is only one I am, which is reflected in, like there's only one sun reflected in many ponds. There's only one I am reflected in many body minds. When you say I am, when I say I am, it's the same I am. It is Sat, the experience of existing, I am. And it is so because that is the only thing that you can experience really. You can never, it is without the use of any other object or instrument. It doesn't need any illumination from something else. It is the one that illumines the other. Example, if you close your eyes and do not see any object, and the mind doesn't have any thought, what you experience is I am. What somebody else also experiences in the absence of these objects is the same I am. There are no multiple I ams. Let me tell you a story to help you understand this better. There was a master called Ribhu. Okay, so there is Shiva. Shiva gave Atma Gnana to Ribhu, Maharshi Ribhu. Ribhu had many disciples. One of the disciples' name was Nidhaga. And Nidhaga was not able to understand Atma Gnana. So what Master Ribhu does is, he leaves the ashram. He's not able to understand. He's fed up. I am not getting it. And he leaves. Then, but the master is compassionate. He wants to teach Nidhaga. So he disguises himself and goes to Nidhaga to teach him. At that time, there is a procession happening. The king is going in on the elephant. So everybody's watching the king and the procession. Ribhu asks Nidhaga, what is happening? And he doesn't know that it's the master. So Nidhaga says, you don't know, old man, this is a procession that happened. So Ribhu says, what is this? I don't understand. What is the procession? Nidhaga says, you don't even understand so much. There's the king sitting on the elephant and he's going to the palace. Ribhu says, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Who is the king? Then Nidhaga gets angry. You don't even know who's the king? Everybody knows the king. Okay, he's the one who's sitting on top of the elephant. And Ribhu says, I'm sorry, I'm still not understanding. Who is the king? What is this? What is elephant and all that? So Nidhaga climbs on top of Ribhu. And he says, see, I am on top, you are at the bottom. So the one who is sitting on top is the king. And who the king is sitting on is the elephant. Ribhu says, now I get it. Now I got who is king and who is elephant. But I still didn't understand who is I and you. You said, I am on top, you are at the bottom. Who is this I and who is this you? Okay? Body is sitting on the body. Can I sit on I? Can I sit on you? The I that you say, you're mistaking it with the body. That's why you make all such statements. I am eating, I am sitting, I am standing. The I never sits. The I never stands. The I never eats. The I never sees. The I never does anything. It is the I thought that is created, and that to moment, that gives a sensation, that gives a illusion that I am doing, I am thinking, I am feeling. Okay, and all this is happening because the I am in you is associating with the body. The moment it associates with consciousness, your vision becomes of consciousness. Now your vision is body. You're seeing only bodies. You're seeing I am as body. The moment you realize I am as consciousness, you will not see 7 billion people. You will see one consciousness. Is it clear? First thing is, I am not the body. I am the one that uses the body. Okay, that I am that you say, that I that you say is not the body. If it was the body, it should die with the body. Does it die with the body? Forget the death of the body. When you go into a dream state, you leave the waking body. Okay, you take a dream body. But there also you say, I am. Right? And you meet somebody, you meet your friend, they also say, I am. How many I ams are there?
Only one.
only one I am, that is Brahman. Okay, and that I am that you have in your body mind is called Chidabhasa, is a reflected consciousness, which is the pointer to the real consciousness. But that I am has now become I am body, I am mind, I am Pallavi, I am Prasad, I am Tanvi, I am Meenakshi, I am Shanti Bhushan, I am Biplav, I am Pratik, I am Saujanya. But I am is none of this. I am is only I am, Brahman, pure I. Is this much clear? So what is Chidabhasa? Chidabhasa means, Abhasa means a false appearance, a reflection. Okay, that's why the term given to that is Chidabhasa. It is a reflected, it's a reflection in the mirror. Think of it as the I see this is my original face. I see my face in the mirror. That face in the mirror I'm calling as Chidabhasa. Okay, understand? So what is Chidabhasa?
Reflection.
It is a reflected consciousness. And the reflection is same as the original. The reflection of the sun is same as the original sun. But this reflected sun, because of the movement of the pond, of the water, starts shaking with the water. It starts engaging with the thoughts created by the water. And what is creating the thoughts? What is creating the thought patterns in the water? This I am. This I am is the one that is empowering the water to think like that. Okay? Clear so far or not clear? Chidabhasa is clear? If it's not clear, please tell me. I'll tell it in a different way.
Krishna ji,
Yeah.
sorry, actually, now if that reflective consciousness, if the reflective consciousness was wanted to happen, if it was supposed to happen, say, I'm not talking about body, I'm only talking, obviously, I'm talking about the soul. Okay, I am thing. Okay, I am, and he is also I am. What I'm telling is now the consciousness wanted to have some reflection out of it. So it reflected as from me, I am.
Okay.
So it's not satisfied or what? It is again reflecting from him as I am, from you as I am, from so many people as I am. Why so many I am? Only one I am was enough, right?
No, so the I am is not the problem. Okay. So the reflection is not the problem at all. How many ever see the sun is not affected by the earth is somewhere far away from the sun. In the earth, there are so many ponds. Okay. In the pond, there are so many reflections of the sun. And somebody will dig one pond every day and the reflection appears. The moment there is a pond, there is a reflection because there is a reflecting surface and the reflection. The original. Okay. The problem is not the I am's reflecting. The problem is the I am associating with the body mind and saying this is me. Okay, when the I am associated with the original, it sees that there is nothing else. There is non-duality. Whatever you're saying, it is the projection of the mind. Like in the dream, you're saying, in the dream you're asking the question, why is the waking person projecting so many people? It's just one projection, but nothing has happened. Nothing is there. Okay, why all this is there? Why not? Because nothing is happening to the waking Pallavi, you just project whatever dream. Do you care about the dream, first of all? Because you are not in the dream, you are not experiencing the dream, you are happily sleeping on the bed, and you take the form of the dream and the dream character. So, from the point of view of Brahman, nothing is happening, nothing has changed. There is no experience. Brahman, first of all, there is no experience of the Brahman. When I said Brahman wanted to experience, it's just a explanation given. Brahman can never experience. There is no experience for Brahman. Brahman is beyond all experiences. All experiences are in the domain of mind. Brahman can never experience anything. Okay. So the Chidabhasa is the reflection of I am. It is the Brahman associating with the reflecting surface, mirror, and the body, and thinking that I am the body. Now, what happens is, see, the problem is neither the reflection, neither the reflecting surface. The problem is because of this association of the reflection and the reflecting surface, a lot of thought patterns are created. Okay, that is the problem. That is what gives a sense of multiplicity and suffering. That has to be resolved. Okay, in Vedanta, and that's what is called as vasanas. You have to become free, and not all vasanas. All vasanas are not disturbing. There are some vasanas that are blocking your awareness of the true self. They are blocking mukti or blocking the knowledge of the true self. Only they have to be removed. Once they are removed, and don't think enlightenment means removing of all vasanas. There are some thought patterns very deeply ingrained. Example, the thought pattern that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the doer. These have to be eradicated. Okay, once they're eradicated, the problem is solved. Then the body mind will continue as long as they have fuel. After that, the Chida, there is no more reflection, there is no more projection, because the I am is now associated with Brahman. That vasana to cover has gone.
Krishna ji, I have a question or a thought. You can call it a silly thought. You may. So, what if we remove this first person, that I am, and we address ourselves as he's? I mean, everybody, we remove this I am thing, and we, in our grammar, we change it to third person. We address ourselves as he. Won't it make things easier for us to understand or
no, it's not a matter of grammar here. It's a matter of experience. See, what is happening here is, even if you don't use language, you go by experiences. For a child doesn't have much grammar. But the moment the mind starts developing, there is a thought put into the child that the child is the body. And the child doesn't question it. Initially, the experience of the child is no body. It is disconnected from the body. It says, baby wants food. It doesn't think I am the body. It is disconnected. It has an experience of bliss and peace. Okay. But later, the world starts interacting with the child as if it's the body. Then the I am in the child, the Chidabhasa, starts thinking, oh, I am the body. Okay, and because of this programming, there is a frequent appearance of I thought called the ego.
Yeah. So if we leave that I for the Parabrahman and everything else is third person we address, I think in our thought process we can actually, if we do not even use it, like if I think that I am the third person and Parabrahman is the truth,
No, I am is the Parabrahman. That's why Aham Brahmasmi.
Yeah, exactly.
What you say as I am is Brahman.
Yeah.
That's why the scriptures say Aham Brahmasmi. That I am that you have, the reflected sun, is the sun, is the pointer to the sun. Okay, but that's now that I am has become I am body.
Yeah.
So and that's the glitch. And you can see this, the lie is right in front of your face. You are not the body. First understand, you are not the body. You are not the mind. And you are not the identity. So the I am, it becomes body. I am, you say, I am father. Okay. Are you father? your father in relation to your daughter, but with relation to your father, your son.
Yeah.
So you have a relative identity and you have an absolute identity. Two things you have. There is an absolute identity and there's a relative identity. The absolute identity is I am Brahman. Relative identities, I am Shantibhushan, I am body, I am man, I am woman, I am father, I am mother, I am child, I am employee. All these are relative identities. Agnana is you're lost in the relative identities. Gnana is telling I am not this, I am not this. Neti, neti, neti. I am not all these identities. I am Brahman. Going to the absolute identity. So the process of Vedanta is segregating what is Atma, what is Anatma. Atma, Anatma, Viveka. You discriminate. This is not I am. This is not me. This is not me. This is not me. I am not the body. How can I be the body? Because the body keeps changing and I am not changing. How can I be the body? I change the body 3 times. In 24 hours, I change the body 3 times. And after I am dead, I take a new body. So I am clearly not the body. Okay? If I am not the body, all the vasanas of the body doesn't belong to me. Just because the body has pain, you say I have pain. Okay, that is that is how the language corrupts your consciousness. You, because of your language, you say I have pain. The right thing to say is body has pain. Okay, so mukti is this distinction. What is gnana? Sorry, what is atma? What is anatma? What is atma? What is relative? What is absolute? Clear? And what is absolute? The I am that you have, the I am Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa is also not absolute. It is the reflection of the absolute. It is the pointer to the absolute. In the deep sleep, in your deep sleep, there is no mind. There is no body. There is neither the dream world, neither the waking world. And there is no I am. What is there?
I.
There is I, pure I, absolute. There is absolute. And the absolute doesn't say I. It doesn't have to say I. Okay? It is just Satchidananda. You just experience, you are. That is what you really are. That you are is for a Brahman. But you are, because of the reflecting surface, becomes I am. That I am becomes I am mind, I am body, and goes through the journey of life. So Chidabhasa, the inquiry into Chidabhasa is to first to put, I told about putting things into perspective. So let's put the I am into perspective. What is I am? I am is Chidabhasa, and I am is a reflection of the pure I. That I am is the key. That I am is the reflection of the pure, and that doesn't change. It's the unchanging principle. Does it ever change? Okay, whatever anybody says is I am is the same I am. So you say, and it doesn't change on space. You say I was in India, I was in Gurgaon. Okay, now where are you? Shantiji?
Dublin.
You're in Dublin. Has the I am changed?
No.
Has it become a Dublin I am?
No.
London I am? Prasadji, as you were in, where were you in India?
Sorry, we missed it. What is it?
Where were you in India?
Bangalore.
So you were in Bengaluru. Okay, you said I was in Bengaluru. Now, where are you?
UK.
UK. What has moved from Bengaluru to UK?
Body and mind.
Has I am changed? Body has changed. Okay, in Bengaluru, body was 50 kgs. In UK, body has become 70 kgs. Mind has changed. Bengaluru, body, you were driving on this side of the lane. In London, it's driving on that side of the lane. Okay, everything has changed. But the I am has not changed, and it will never change. The body changes, mind changes, everything changes. the I am doesn't change. That I am is Chidabhasa, and that I am is the reflection of the unchanging Brahman. Okay. So whenever you say, whenever you make any statement, you cannot make any statement without that I. Okay. It's all your statements, expressions, feelings, experiences are because of that I. And none of your feelings, emotions, thoughts, experiences are for that I. It is because of the I, but it is not for the I. It is for the body and mind. So this distinction has to become very clear. The thought, feeling, emotion, experiences are not for me, but they're because of me. They wouldn't happen without me. And what does that mean? I am. That I am is Brahman. So that's why Ramana Maharshi says, ask who am I? He didn't go into too much theory. He just said, somebody came and told, I am suffering. Ask who is suffering? When you say I am suffering, you're superimposing mind on the I am. When you say I have disease, who has the disease? I can never have the disease. Okay? So if you have the disease, you should have the disease in deep sleep also. In deep sleep, let's say in the waking state, you fell down and hurt your leg. In deep sleep, is the leg hurt? Is there a leg in deep sleep? If you have the hurt, you should carry it in everywhere. Correct? It is not part of you. It is a part of the reflecting surface. See, it's like this, yeah. If the reflecting surface is fine, you will see your clear face. Have you seen these weird mirrors where if you go in front of them, they show you as if you're fat. Sometimes they're thin, sometimes you're wavy. Depending on the mirror, you start seeing different reflections. But has anything happened to you just because the reflection is like that? So the mind superimposes things on the I am. It superimposes body on the I am. It superimposes thoughts and feelings on the I am. But even though it superimposes, nothing has ever happened to the I am. And you are that I am. And you are actually the I, the pure I, not even the I am. That I am, that is pointing to the one that is beyond, that is the pure I, Brahman. That you are. Okay?
I don't know.
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
1 second. I'll just finish this, and then we can start the next line of thought. So Chidabhasa is the reflection of the pure I, and because of the mind, you start saying I am body, I am mind. Because of Agnana, there is no clarity in the mind of what is I am. When you become clear of what is I am, when you start seeing, oh, I am the absolute, I is the absolute, it doesn't change at all. And I can never be the body. I have a body, I am not the body. I have a mind, I am not the mind. I have identities, I have roles to play, but I am none of those. Because even if you remove all of them, including the body and mind, I still am. I still exist. Nobody can remove Sat from you. Nobody can remove your isness. That's why Sri Krishna told in the Bhagavad Gita, Nainam chindanti shastrani, Nainam dahati pavakaha, Nachainam kledayantyapo, Nashoshayati marutaha. Nothing, Nainam chindanti shastrani. No weapons can kill you. You, when Krishna is talking about you, he doesn't mean body. The I in you, no weapon can destroy it. No fire can burn it. No water can make it wet. No time can dissipate it. That is what you are. The absolute. But you are thinking you are the relative. That is the problem. Okay. So after the question that you're going to ask, we'll continue on this. We'll see about, we understood about absolute and relative. The relative itself takes many shapes, okay, and becomes many things. We'll inquire into that. So Sarjan, yes, what is the question?
I don't know if I'm trying to say this right, but when there is pure consciousness and everything else is myth or not real, where is this ego coming from? Is it because it's coming and going? Is it coming in the real consciousness, or it's just it's unreal and we're just experiencing it?
Yeah, it is. Everything is appearing and disappearing in consciousness. Like everything in waves are appearing in the ocean. They appear and disappear, appear and disappear. So everything, including the world, body, mind, ahankara, chidabhasa, everything is appearing and disappearing in consciousness. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Same example. I see the phone. Okay. Now, how many are there? There's a subject who is seeing. There is an object which is seen, and there's a process of seeing. How many are there?
3.
There is drak, drishya, and drishyam, process of seeing. Seer, seen, process of seeing. Are there really 3? The seer, I see the subject, it's a thought that appears and disappears. When you're actually interacting with the world, you see many things, but you never say, I am seeing. At some point of time, the thought comes, oh, I saw. For example, let's say you are walking in the park and you're just walking. Suddenly you see somebody that you know. Now, first there were so many people that you don't know. Suddenly you see somebody that you know. Then that I thought comes in. Oh, I know this person. Until that point of time, it was not there. Okay, what was there was the absolute. The relative only appeared momentarily, and it also disappears. So now the seer and seen are not really, and seeing, there is not 3 actually at any point of time. The seer is a thought that appears. The seen is also a thought. It's an object is also a thought. Okay. Is there any other way for you to know the object apart? It's just only thought. As I see the wall. I see the wall. The wall is a thought in my head. I am a thought in my head. But what is experience? Experience is seeing. Okay. So the seer is a thought. Seen is a thought. The experiencing, the seeing is the experience. And experience is nothing but subtle thought. What you're actually only at any point of time experiencing is only thought, which is a wave, which is just an appearance in consciousness. It is also another way of saying it's a modification of consciousness. For example, whatever is seen in your dream, you see an Eiffel Tower, you see Taj Mahal, or you see the ocean, or you see houses, and you see friends and relatives. They are all modifications of the sleeper. Correct? So the scene, the object in the dream is the sleeper. The subject, the seer in the dream is the sleeper. The process of seeing, the experience, is also the modification of the sleeper. So there is nothing apart from the sleeper. In that sense, there is nothing apart from Brahman. The seen is Brahman. The seer is Brahman. The process of seeing is Brahman. So this is called Triputi. Okay, in the Vedantic terminology, seer, seen, and process of seeing. It's called Triputi. So we live in Triputi. We live in 3. We live in duality, subject and object, subject and object. But reality is non-duality. There is no subject, object, and process of seeing. There is no Triputi. All three are Brahman alone. Okay. I see the phone. Who sees the phone? Who's seeing the object? We'll come to the object part, okay? Let's first now talk about the subject. We'll go one by one. There is seer, seen, process of seeing. We'll go and see how each one, we'll go and see the reality of each one. Let's now inquire about the reality of seer. When I say I see the phone is a thought. I can see the phone without the I thought also. Can I see the phone? Okay. So without saying I see the phone, can I still see the phone? Okay. So that means to tell I see the phone is false, it's irrelevant, it's unnecessary, it's not real, it's not absolute. So we'll go on removing the relative. Okay. So I can see, the seer can still see the phone without the I thought, correct? Oh, you see, seer can't see the phone without I am. Without you existing, can you see the phone? But you can see the phone without I thought, without saying I see the phone. Please understand the distinction between I thought and I am. I am is Chidabhasa. I thought is ego. Ego is relative. Chidabhasa is the reflection of consciousness. Okay? Tell me if I can continue.
Yes.
Clear, Pratik? Or is it all going over the head? Pallavi ji, following? Is this clear? Prasad, Pallavi?
There was a slight distraction here.
Okay, so this is important. Okay, this is your entire life. This is what you're experiencing right now. So world. I'm taking one object. This you can think of as all object, whatever you see. What I see, I am not. I see the phone, I am not the phone. I see another person, I am not the other person. I see the tree, I am not the tree. I see the body, I am not the body. Can you see the body? You can see the body, no?
Yeah.
I am not the body. Even if you remove some part of the body, you're there. I see the body. Even if you remove the entire body, which you remove in your dream and deep sleep and in death, you are still there. Whatever you see, you are not. Okay? So seer, seen, process of seeing. What I see, I am not. I see the object, I am not the object. I see the body, I am not the body. Can you see the mind? You can know the mind. You can see the mind. When I say see, don't think of physical seeing. You can also see the emotions that you have. You can see the thoughts that you have, right? So you are not the mind because you can see it. If you were the mind, you cannot see the mind. Because the principle is, what you are, you cannot see that. Eyes cannot see the eyes. Because eyes are the eyes. But you can see the body and the mind. Because you are not the body and the mind. Okay? Clear so far? Pratik, clear? Okay, now. Tanvi, clear? Okay, now. I see the phone. I can see the phone without the I thought. Is this part clear? Let's say I remove the I thought. Let's say I remove the thoughts. Thoughtlessly, I can see the phone. Later, I said I saw the phone. I didn't see the phone and all that. That is all in retrospect. But I can see the phone without having a I thought. So the I thought is the ego. Now let us inquire, who is the seer? Definitely I thought is not the seer. Is the ego seer? No. Who is seeing the phone? Are the eyes seeing the phone? Okay, let's take it. Just give me the classes. No. Just give me that. Okay. Now I see the phone. Do my glasses see the phone? No, when I'm wearing the glasses, I forget I'm wearing the glasses and I say I see the phone. Similarly, you're wearing the body and you forget that you're wearing the body. Like how if you're wearing the glasses for a long time, you forget you're seeing through the glasses. You're wearing the body and you forget you're wearing the body. And the body has senses. And the seeing means all five senses: seeing, touching, smelling, tasting, hearing. Okay. When I say see, equate that with all the five senses. Okay. Who is seeing the phone? Are the eyes seeing the phone? Do the eyes see the phone? Eyes cannot see the phone without the mind. Okay, so my eyes can be seeing the phone, but my mind is somewhere else. Let's say there's some disturbance happening in my life. Okay, there is some issue happening somewhere in my office or something. I am seeing objects, but my mind is somewhere else. Okay, so eyes are not seeing. The mind is the one that's seeing the object. Correct? Now the mind cannot see the object. The mind is just an instrument. For example, your laptop. Right now, you're all using the laptop, right? The camera is seeing you. Is the camera seeing? The camera is a device. But to see, there should be a conscious entity to make sense out of it. So the mind is like the computer. The eyes also is like the device. The eyes is like the camera of the computer. And the mind is like the computer itself. But the one who is really seeing through the computer, through the camera, is who?
I am.
I am. Is the I am. And the I am is the Sakshi. Okay? Sakshi sees. Sakshi is there only when there is an object, when there is something to see. So Brahman becomes Sakshi when there is something to see. When there is nothing to see, Brahman is pure I. Okay, beyond, because there's nothing to see. Brahman has nothing to see. But Brahman as a Sakshi sees the objects. So the one who is seeing through my eyes and one who is seeing through your eyes, is it a different seer? How many seers are there?
It's one.
The seer
Seer.
is one. But the I thought of that I am seeing, that is different. And that is false. The seeing is happening without that I thought. And that I thought is coming not while seeing, after the seeing. Let's say so you're seeing something for a long time. After that I thought comes. And even if that disappears, the seeing is still happening. It is irrespective of the I thought. So when you see, when I see, who sees really?
I am.
That I am is Sakshi. That Sakshi is called Brahman or Shiva. So Bhagavan alone sees. That absolute subject is the real seer. Okay? The intermediary seer, when you say I see, when you say I see, you're referring to body, which is false. Okay? That I see is a I thought. That I thought is a wave in consciousness. So the seer is Brahman. Is this part clear? Out of 3, now we have only 2. We can take out 1. Can we take out 1 safely? Can we remove the seer? Is seer clear? We'll address seeing and seen. Is the seer clear, everybody? Prasad sir, is seer clear?
Yeah.
Who is the seer?
Brahman.
Seer is Brahman. And Brahman sees as Sakshi when there is something to see. When there's nothing to see, Brahman is pure I, nothing to see. Okay, for example, the waking you doesn't see the dream. In the dream, who sees the dream? There is a dream you. Okay, The dream you is the Sakshi of the dreaming world. Understand? So Brahman as Sakshi, as Chidabhasa, sees. So one who is seeing is Brahman. So from 3 can we remove 1? Pallaviji, is this clear? Who is the seer? And the seer is the same. The one who sees through your eyes, the one who sees through somebody else's eyes, the one who sees through the insect's eye, the one who sees through the animal's eye. Seer is only one. Okay, there are no multiple seers. And the multiple seer is the I thought. That I thought is ahamkara, which is just a wave in consciousness. It is just a, like how the wave is also water, it is just a modification of water. There are no different waves, there is only water. In the same way, the different intermediary subjects, the subject is the I, which is the appearance in consciousness. Okay. And when you say I see, you're actually, that I, when you say, it's actually Chidabhasa plus mind. But the one who is really empowering that is Sakshi. The Chidabhasa is pointing to the Sakshi. So Sakshi is seeing. Clear? So seer is Sakshi. Okay, now scene. Let's come to the scene. What do you see? What is there to see?
Anything and everything.
You see objects. Okay, subject is Sakshi. Whatever is seen is different objects. Now the objects, every object has a name and a form. It has a name, phone, and a form of the phone. Okay. Now the form, both name and the form, you know as thought in you. Okay. The object is a thought in you, and you experience it as an object. When I say object, and you experience with the 5 senses. The 5 senses give you inputs of objects, but everything is converted into a thought, and the thought gets converted into knowing of the thought. So from object to the contact with the object, be it through eye, ear, nose, or touch, through the 5 senses. So from object to contact, which is sense perception gets converted to thought, thought gets converted to knowing. So at any point of time, there is only knowing happening. When you say, I see the wall, I see the sun, you're becoming aware of the thought of the sun. For example, let's say you have a dream. In the dream, you saw the sun, you saw the sunlight. Wow, and it's far away. Okay, is there a sun really? It is a projection. In the projection, there is one thought that I see. There is a thought of, and there's one thought. There's one thought of I see. There's also thought of I see something. And there is a distance between that and me. There are 3 thoughts capsuled as one: seer, seen, and some space and time. All of them are projection. And that whole capsule you experience as, it's an experience for you. You know it. It is a knowing in you. So every object in the dream is your own, is actually the sleeper, the person who sleeps, is a projection. And the dream you is experiencing them as thoughts. Okay. So the scene is the object is light, the light is sense perception, the sense perception is thought is knowing, and knowing is Brahman. Brahman is seeing Brahman. Hello? Are you following? For example, I have a mirror in front of me. Let's say there's a mirror here. This is a mirror. I see my reflection in the mirror. And the mirror also, I see depth. Let's say there's depth behind me. In the mirror also, there's depth. But is there really depth in the mirror? Is there really space in the mirror? No, it's just a reflection. There is no, you can't put your hand through it. It's two-dimensional. The two-dimensional appears as three-dimensional. Okay? The Brahman is actually the reality. The reflection of the Brahman is what you're seeing, appears as time, space, and objects, which is not real. You experience it as so because of your thoughts. Now, how does that make sense to you is, if I am able to experience this object without naming it, then I have a pure experience. Then my experience is, what is this object? If you remove the name, it is. The phone is. The wall is. The sun is. Everything is isness. And that isness is you. You understand? In your dream, so many, you see so many people and everything, world and wall and sun. Everything is. And that isness is the isness of the wake of the person who is sleeping. You understand? Everything is nothing but whatever you see. The seen is also Brahman. For example, you see this. What is this?
Bracelet.
What is it made up of?
Looks like it's a yellowish golden color. So I don't know, it should be of metal.
So the gold takes different forms. There's a bracelet, there's a ring, there's a earring, there's a bangle, there's a chain, right? But all of them are made up of gold. Okay? So you can either see, you can, by naming process, what you do is, you tell this is a bracelet. The moment you say a bracelet, the gold part has taken a back seat. But what is it really? That it's gold. You don't go to the gold store to buy bracelet and chain and everything. You're actually going there to buy gold. Understand? In the form of chain and bracelet and necklace and ring. So everything in existence is golden, meaning is Brahman in the different form. You can either see the gold quality or the name and form. Even the name and form, when you trace it back, it becomes thought, and thought is nothing but a knowing in you, and that knowing is Brahman, because Brahman has nothing else to know. So seer is Brahman, seen is Brahman. That's why it says Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. What you see is Brahman. The one who is seeing is really is Brahman. Now that leaves us with process of seeing. Okay? Is this too clear? Now the three has become one. Okay? Seer is Sakshi. Sakshi is Brahman. Seen is also Brahman. Whatever you see, whatever you see, let's say you have no mental faculty, no processing faculty. Does life make any sense? Let's say for you've hit your head and you hurt your brain. You still see. But is there any experience of life? Experience is because of your thought. The object has some value because of its naming and the way you interact with it. So the phone has a name. Without the name, primarily it's isness. Both the name, form, and the isness of the phone is a modification of Brahman. Your experience of the phone is thought, is sensation, is primarily sensation, The sensation is nothing but thought, and thought is nothing but knowing. You know it. And your knowing is, you know your own self. But in this whole stream, there are many intermediaries, mainly the I thought and the projection of the mind. Okay, that's why you experience objects as separate. But there is no separation, there is no duality, and there is no object. There are no objects in consciousness. Consciousness is objectless. The objects are a projection. And what will consciousness project with? It itself takes the form of everything. Like when you sleep, what do you use to create the dream world? You become the dream world. Okay? Everything in the dream is you only. Understand? Same way, what the seer is you, the seen is you. Now it comes to the seeing. The seeing, the process of seeing, is called it's seeing or experiencing. That alone is the present moment reality. At any point of time, there is only a continuous seeing happening, and that seeing is with the sense organs. It's seeing. Without the sense organs, it's just knowing. If there is something object to know, if there is no object, there is just, when there's nothing to know, in deep sleep, there's nothing to know. Okay, there's no knower also. There's no knower, there's no known, and there's no knowing. There is just Sat Chit Ananda. So the seer is you, the absolute you. The seen is you. The seeing also is you. The seeing is knowing. The seer is knowing. The seen is knowing. The seeing is knowing, and the seen is also knowing. There's only knowing, and that knowing principle is called Brahman. That's why it's called Pragnanam Brahma. Pragnanam Brahma means Brahman is knowing principle. At any point in time, there is only knowing. When there's pain in the body, you know the pain. Okay? When you see an object, you know the object. There is easiness. You know easiness. And everything that is known is the knower, known, and knowing is just knowing. And that knowing principle is Brahman. That is eternal and absolute. Is this clear? I don't see any expressions.
My question again on the doer, Krishnaji. That's lying in the back of my mind. And in all of this, who is the doer?
No, so based on what I said, tell me who is the doer.
I don't know. I mean, which is why it's.
See, does Brahman do anything?
Brahman doesn't do anything, but without Brahman, nothing can be done.
That's fine. So Brahman doesn't do anything. That is clear. Let's take all the characters. Brahman doesn't do anything. Does Chidabhasa do anything?
No.
No.
See, Chidabhasa, without Chidabhasa doesn't do anything, cannot do anything, because it's just a reflection of Brahman. It is consciousness. The mind cannot do anything without the Chidabhasa. Okay, so think of the classical example given in Vedanta is let's say there is a fire. Fire is Brahman. You put a iron rod in the fire. The iron rod becomes ignited, and it appears as if it's fire, but it dies out after some time. That iron which is ablaze is called, the fire in the iron is the Chidabhasa, and the iron rod itself is called the mind. The mind by itself is dead. It's like iron. It's dead. But because of coming in contact with the fire, it's illumined. So the mind with the Chidabhasa, with the body, some actions happen. The body does something. The body is a real doer.
The battery down ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ?
Yeah, we just went into UPS. So the body, in the sense, is a doer. The body cannot do anything without the Chidabhasa and the mind. But the question of the doer, there is no individual doer. Okay? Because there is no individual. The individual doer is, there is no doing in life. There are happenings. There are so many things happen. Life is a happening. Life is not a doing. And all happenings are appearances in Brahman. So the question, who is doing, is not valid, because there is nothing done in the real sense. In the absolute sense, there is nothing happening. So it's like you asking, when you slept tonight, you had a dream, and in the dream somebody came and stabbed you. Okay? Then it's like asking, who is the stabber? Nothing is real. The doership is false. The ego takes the doership. I told you, the I thought. That I thought, see, let's say you're coding something. Do you code, Prasadji?
No.
Do you type? Do you write? Do you prepare presentations? Okay. Let's say you're doing something. Okay. The action is happening. When the action is actually happening, there is no doer. You don't say, I am doing. Okay. Sometimes you say, oh, I did it. The doer is an afterthought. In nature, there is no individual doer. It's a happening. But the individual doer is a I thought that appears and disappears. But because for the mind cannot comprehend that action can happen without a doer. That's why it says, oh, somebody must have done it. I did it. You understand? And that it takes weird shapes, you know. When you do some work, and if it goes very good, who did it? I did it. When it goes bad, we did it. We'll do better next time. Have you seen that? When the meeting goes very good, oh, I did it, my idea. When things go bad, we should not have done like this. Right? So the I thought appears to claim ownership of something that it is not done. And that I thought that comes in is the ego. So who did it? There is actually no doer. The ownership you take as I thought, and that I thought is borrowing the I am from Chidabhasa and body mind from the nature, Prakriti, and is experiencing karma. Because I did it, because you had a thought that I did it, the vasana gets ingrained that some result should come. And because there is a vasana, some result should come, you project some result. Some result does come. Because you are Brahman. Whatever vasana you have will become true. Whatever you say will happen because you are Brahman. But in reality, there is no doer. So to give you a better example, my master always used to say, in his childhood days, they had the first radio was introduced very long time ago. They got the radio for the first time. And the children started hearing voices. Somebody's talking through the radio. And they thought there are some small people inside the box speaking. They didn't understand technology, and they thought there's some small tiny people inside the box, the imagination of the child. They thought somebody's speaking. Nobody's there inside. Okay? And the mind cannot comprehend that things can happen without an individual doer. There is no individual doer. In the ocean's wave arise. Every movement of the wave is the movement of the ocean. But is the water moving? Does movement of the wave, ocean, anything, does make sense to the water? From water's point of view, movement, non-movement, nothing. It's beyond everything. That is what you are. Okay? So Enlightenment is dropping of doership. Naham karta. When I say dropping of doership, with gnana, with clarity, understanding how there is, first of all, there is the action is what you know as action, what you call as action. They're all various vague assumptions that you have in your head. Nothing is inquired. You say, I am lifting the cup. It's some vague statement. Am I lifting the cup? When I say I am lifting the cup, I am mixing I am with body, first of all. Okay. And can I am lift the cup? Okay. Can body lift the cup? Can body lift the cup? Does body know how to lift the cup? Can the body even move without consciousness or without food? And if let's say I have not had food, can I lift the cup? So this lifting the cup is coming together of various. It's a happening. It is not an individual action. I cannot lift the cup. Cup is being lifted by this body, through this body. Who is the doer?
Nobody.
Things are happening. Okay. I am not the doer. I am the one who knows it. I am the one who illumines it. Now, how do I've got this gnana, but I still feel I am doing. I still have the I am thought pattern. What do I do? So that's why Sri Krishna Paramatma told in Bhagavad Gita, the reality is naishkarmya, non-doing. That's just happening. But until you reach to that point of clarity, you do everything as an offering to Bhagavan. You do everything as nishkama karma. So there is kamya karma. What you're doing is now as kamya karma means I am doing. Move to nishkama karma. I am doing for Bhagavan, for the whole. Whatever action you do, say Bhagavan is doing through me for Bhagavan, for the whole. The whole is doing through me for the whole. And continue your Shravana Manana and Nityasa until a point you clearly understand everything is happening, everything is a projection, and the reality is only Brahman. The seer is Brahman, seen is Brahman, and the knowing also is Brahman. Until you reach that point, which is a result of Shravana Manana Nityasa. So to resolve who is doing, you say Brahman is doing through me, and whatever I do it as an offering to Brahman.
But Krishnaji, I have a question. So, what say if I'm seeing an object and he or she is not doing right, and it's not say they are cheating me or something. So I have things like emotional imbalances, like all those things. I have feeling of rage, all those feelings. So then it comes to us, and how to get rid of those feelings and all those things.
See, first thing to understand is everything is your projection. This is the top-down approach, okay? I'll tell you the top-down approach, and we can meet at one point. So from the topmost approach, from the point of view of Advaita and Vedanta, everything is your projection. Nothing is real. Nothing is really happening to you. Even if you're going through something, nothing is really happening to you. But you're still going through something. How to resolve that? When you step down, you understand that whatever is happening, whatever is the jiva, when you say you, who is that you you're referring to? When you said you, who is that you? When you said I, I will get cheated. Who is getting cheated? It is the combination of Chidabhasa, I am, and mind. Okay? Chidabhasa, mind and body. This combination, this entity is getting cheated. Is that part clear, Pratik?
Yes.
When you said I am getting cheated, can body get cheated?
Mm.
Body is just already dead, no? So mind along with Chidabhasa, that mind along with Chidabhasa is called Jiva, individual. That individual, because of forgetting the reality, experience the emotions of the mind. Now, when you say you, this is the you, the Chidabhasa and the mind. Clear? When you said I am getting cheated, who is getting cheated? Chidabhasa and mind is getting cheated. That part is clear, everybody? So whenever you say you right now, you are referring to this entity of Chidabhasa and mind combination. And they cannot exist individually. They always exist together. Reflection and the mirror cannot be separated. They are one entity. So when you say you, it is Chidabhasa plus mind. Now, the mind has various levels of programming. Okay? It's like a lot of programs are running in the mind. They're called vasanas. What you know as the conscious mind is only a very small percent. That is why, to give a simple example, that is why you say from tomorrow I will stop sugar. But today evening only you will have sugar, extra sugar. Okay? Because consciously you are saying something, but the unconscious force is something much higher. So the mind has various levels. Unconscious, subconscious, conscious. What you're experiencing right now, speaking right now, is only conscious. That is just the tip of the iceberg. But the mind itself is deep. It's subconscious and unconscious. And the subconscious, unconscious part is taking care of the body, is giving all the emotion. That's where all the programs are running, which you have no vision of. You cannot even see what is there. You cannot even know what is there. Okay? That's why the anger comes and goes, and you say, I'm never going to react like that. But again, you react like that. Because it's not in your conscious control. It is coming from an unconscious force within you. The unconscious part of the mind is running because of the vasanas. There are vasanas in the mind. Programs. You think of them as programs. What programs are there, you don't know. Okay? You don't know, and it can't be stopped also. Now, those programs are running from time immemorial, and it's formed patterns, and it's formed reactive mechanisms, and so on and so forth. Now you're a slave to that programs. When I say you are, the Chidabhasa is influenced by the programs and is a slave to the program because you don't have clarity of who you are. Okay, so when you say somebody cheats, I'll only take the example of somebody cheats me. Somebody cheated you. First thing is to understand is accept it. It happened because somebody didn't cheat you. What seed you had sown came back to you. It's like you wrote a letter to yourself. Today's date is what is today's date? 1st of November 2020. So many long time ago, you wrote yourself to Pratik via this person, via these words, on 1st of November 2020, deliver this message. That message can be cheating, that message can be abuse, that message can be thank, that message can be anything. So every interaction you have, please understand, it is your own creation. It is happening to you because you created it in ignorance. Okay? You got drunk and you did something. Okay, you got drunk and you went and cooked, you made a dinner at home, and you did not use gloves. You don't know what is that, cushion gloves, I don't know what they're called, the baking gloves, and you carried the oven, the the vessel in your hand. You burnt your hand. You do not realize when you're drunk. Tomorrow morning, it starts hurting. You understand? So every hurt in your life is something that you sent to yourself some time ago. So when it comes, you have two choices. Either you accept it or you reject it. See, you have no choice. You have to accept it because somebody will tell something to you. It's already done to you. There's no way you cannot. If somebody hits you, you have no choice whether to accept or not. You are getting hit. You can either accept it gracefully, be sakshi to it. Okay, something has happened, or you can say, somebody did this to me. Why they did this to me? And keep grudge and hate and anger, and again continue with that cycle. Okay, rejecting it means you have the intention of giving it back. Intention of giving it back means you have to come back to give it. If you have to come back to give it, and if it doesn't happen in this lifetime, you will take another birth. So you are creating your own rebirths through your emotions. Rebirth means what? The mind at the time of death has unfulfilled desires. And it cannot be satisfied to this body. It starts another body. Okay, so first thing is to understand, if somebody cheated me, whatever is happening in my life is a result of what I did. And that's why it said it's a gift of Bhagwan. It's not accepted as a gift from the divine. It is there for you to teach you. If somebody didn't cheat you, you would not know what is there in your unconscious. You would think I'm a very good person. Somebody has to come and shake and show what kind of thoughts you can get. Right? That's the beauty of marriage. Before marriage, the guy thinks I am the hero. Okay? The girl thinks I'm the most beautiful. The two individual egos living their own dream worlds. Put them together, they start poking each other's ego. The wife starts shouting at the husband. The husband's ego gets hurt. Nobody in my life has spoken to me like this. Okay, then whatever is there inside comes out. That's why marriage is called a purification practice in Sanatana Dharma. There are 16 purificatory practices. One of them is marriage. It shows you what is there in your consciousness. It is there for you to rise above your vasanas. Okay, so whatever is happening to your life, the cheating is happening, it is showing you what is there inside you. The moment you fix what is inside you, the outside gets resolved. Otherwise, it gets stretched. It becomes more and more complex. Let's say somebody cheated you. The hurt is natural. Even the enlightened person gets hurt. But the enlightened person doesn't react. Krishna got cheated. He also cheated. That's another matter. Krishna, the enlightened being also gets cheated. But the cheat is accepted and non-reaction. There's non-reaction. So it dies out. It burns out. But when you get cheated, your vasanas, your identities start coming in. How can I get cheated? I should not get cheated. You're mistaking I with body, mind, intellect. If I is Brahman, if you get cheated, what will happen to you? Pratik, you said I got cheated, no? We're taking an example of cheated. Let's say you got cheated. Now you're associating with Pratik, I as Pratik. If I is Brahman and you went through the cheat, is there any reaction? When you say I got cheated, please understand you're living in unconscious. That I is getting confused with body, mind, identities. To give a simple example, you have an identity as father. You have a child now. You have a child now, right? The child starts learning some words, and it starts speaking some abusive words to you. Will you get hurt? It doesn't know the meaning. It's simply saying some abusive words. You won't feel anything because it's your child. The same words, if somebody says, you will get hurt. Okay. So in the case of the child, you are taking a father identity, and the father identity is not getting hurt. Okay, because there's a connection with the child. Okay, there's a love, there's a mutual understanding. With somebody else, you're taking a different identity. Maybe let's say take the example of an employer. The employer is abusing you. You're an employee. As an employee, you get hurt. I got embarrassed in front of other employees and all that. Okay, the hurt is always for the identity, never for you. You can never be hurt. Nobody can ever hurt you. If there is hurt, that means some identity that you're carrying is getting hurt. Are you understanding? See, I'll tell you the story of Buddha. Buddha and Ananda, his disciple, his also relative, they used to go and beg for food. One day, Buddha went to beg in front of a house. Buddha was in front, Ananda was behind. The lady opened the door. This old lady, she looks at Buddha. Buddha is Prince Siddhartha. He looks very handsome and very strong. He's a Kshatriya, very well built. And he's very young. She starts abusing him very badly. Okay? She abuses, and she chases them away. Ananda, who is listening, gets furious. But Buddha is very silent. He listens, he bows down to her, and he goes. And Ananda asks him, why didn't you say something? She doesn't know who she's talking to. Buddha says, who is she talking to? Ananda says, she's talking to Buddha. Buddha says, I am nothing. If I hold the identity that I am Buddha, then I have expectation. Oh, people should bow down to me. People should talk to me like this. I am nothing. I am pure awareness. For you, I am Buddha. When you are there, I am Buddha. When you ask some question, I am teacher, master. When you are not there, I am nothing. But Ananda got furious because Ananda has an identity that I am the disciple of Buddha and I am the. Just 1 second. Okay, understood? So whenever you're getting hurt, the identity is getting hurt and not you. You are mistaking yourself with the identity. Always remember your true identity, the absolute identity. I am Sakshi, I am Brahman. So the solution is, when you interact with the world, you interact with the world as Sakshi. Like how the surgeon wears the gloves when he goes to operate, so that one, he doesn't get infected and he doesn't infect the diseased person. Even in Corona time, we wear mask and sanitizer and all that. We don't get infected, right? So interact with the world with the gloves of Gnana, so you don't get infected. Okay? Always understand, whatever is happening to me is my own creation, is for my own good. That one thought will transform your life. Right now, even if good happens to you, you will see it in a twisted way because of the vasana of the mind. With Gnana, even if bad happens, you will accept it. It is for my own good. Without the push and pull of life, what is inside you will not reveal itself. And whatever Gnana you get will only be surface level. How will you test whether if you have understood Atma Gnana or not? Only when somebody shouts at you, if you're able to be Sakshi, then the tire has passed on the road. It's no big deal that you become peaceful in the Himalayas, right? If you can be peaceful in Bangalore city while driving, if you can be peaceful when your boss is abusing you, if you can be peaceful in the Delhi weather, if you can be peaceful when your child is irritating you, that is real peace. That is Atma Gnana. Okay, so life is test of your peace. So I welcome life, and it's your own creation. Anyway, it's projection here. Nothing is real. So welcome it, accept it as grace. Whatever happens, become a sakshi to it. Know that I have created it. First of all, just accept it. Say yes to whatever is coming. When I say yes, I don't mean that somebody's doing something wrong, you become a sakshi. No, I meant non-reaction. Don't react based on your past impressions. See what is right to be done and do it. Okay. Non-reaction does not mean inaction. Take right, appropriate action. That is why it's called enlightened action. Enlightened action is whatever is appropriate for that moment. So Krishna did a lot of cheating in the Mahabharata war. He asked Arjuna to kill Karna when Karna was not in a position to fight. It's not a right thing to do. But he did that because that was the right thing to do. Rama killed Vali from behind. Okay? Which is actually not a fair thing to do. You're shooting somebody from the back. But that is the right thing to do. That is enlightened action. Okay? Because the other person is not playing the rules of dharma. When both of you are playing the rules of dharma, you follow dharma. When one person is following adharma, to defeat that for dharma, it seems that he is doing adharma, but it's not adharma. It is right action. You understand? But the right action, you cannot think and do it. It is a result of Atma Gnana. There's no way you can formulate a to-do list. If somebody says like this, I will tell like this, you cannot do like that. You just stay with the self. For that moment, whatever has to happen through your body mind will come through your body mind and your intellect. Understand? So how to handle life? First of all, accept life the way it is. First, understand the nature of life. The reality of life is it is a projection. It is Maya. Topmost. That is the absolute reality. It is Maya. It's a projection. It is Maya, one. It is also Brahman. Maya is nothing but different form of Brahman. The water is the wave. Water is the ocean. Okay? So that is intellectual knowledge. Right now for you, it's only intellectual knowledge. But know that it is divine. Whatever happens, you see what is happening in you. Because of what is happening from the outside, what really matters is what is happening in you. What vasanas it's pulling out. And when the vasanas come out, you become sakshi. You'll allow them to go. Just watch them. Okay? When you watch them, they will come, they will go. They'll burn out. Till now, they were not getting burnt out because you were involving with them. Let's say the rage arises. The rage arises, maybe even for an enlightened person, the rage arises. But the enlightened person, it arises and it dies. For a Buddha, so Buddha is considered a highly evolved being. For a Buddha is able to see the rage arising at an atomic level. The rage arises from deep within. You only come to know when it's at the surface level. So it goes through 4 levels. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyami, Vaikari. Vaikari is the manifest level where you see it as thought in your head or the trembling in your body and the rage in your fire in the fist and the clenching and all that. That is the topmost level. But it starts as various sub-levels, subtle levels. A Buddha is able to see it at the subtlest level and stop it there only by becoming a witness. When I say stop it, not saying anything, stop or don't do nothing, just witnessing it. I am Atma. Whatever I see is Anatma. It's just a dream. Okay. So right now, when it comes to the manifest, when it comes to the topmost level, you become sakshi, non-reaction. Whatever action at that moment, if it is appropriate to shout at the person, shout at the person. If it's appropriate to hit the person, hit the person. If it's appropriate to keep silent, keep silent. Whatever is appropriate and right, you will do. Okay, this is the way to handle the current vasanas and continue the Shravana. The more you go on listening, the more things you will start penetrating the deep layers of your mind in the process of listening. Then they will die out by themselves and you will not even know when it happened. And they won't even rise after some time. Okay? And in the absence of the vasanas, what is there? Peace and bliss. There will be a constant experience of peace, deep inner peace, and bliss, ananda. And you'll be filled with love and compassion. That is the nature of Brahman. Prema, Gnana, and Karuna, compassion. Pratik, is the answer clear, Pratik?
Yes, Krishna, thank you.
Yes, somebody else was asking a question.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Murli, yeah. So I had the same question that I asked in the previous session, like about, is there a purpose to the dream? Like, I mean, when I look at the whole situation, I feel that, what started off as a dream has now turned into a nightmare. Like, I can't speak for the word, but I can feel, I have a strong feeling that I want to come out of this cycle of, birth and death or Maya or whatever. So so I want to know, is there a purpose to the dream?
This is the purpose. That is the very purpose, to put you to a point where you say, I want to go out. That is called mumukshatva. Mumukshatva means desire for enlightenment. Not everybody asks this question, okay? How many people are there in the class right now? Hardly 6, 7 people. That means the rest of the people are okay with the way the world is. They're okay with their realities. We're all living in the same world. But how many people think about escaping from this dream? So Shri Krishna tells, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyate. After many, 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 many births, people come to the point where they say, enough is enough. The purpose of the dream becoming, dream is fine. The purpose of the dream becoming a nightmare is so that you wake up. Otherwise, you'll not wake up. You're happy with the dream. You're actually going more and more into dream, multiple layers of dreaming. Okay, nobody comes to Atma Gnana classes. When Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was there, hardly 20 students he had. Okay, when Ramana Maharshi was there, only few students. Nobody wants Atma Gnana. Okay, people go to temple because the God doesn't talk there. Bhagwan doesn't tell you are the problem. They are happy blaming Bhagwan. They are happy asking things from Bhagwan. Okay, they're happy as long as Bhagwan is ATM. The moment Bhagwan starts speaking, nobody wants to go there. Okay, the dream becomes a nightmare. Unless the dream becomes nightmare, you won't think about waking up. That's why Mother Kunti, see, whatever suffering you have seen is nothing compared to what people have. Some of the people have seen. My wife actually is a doctor. I hear some of the stories that her patients say. I get, my mind is blown. Such suffering people go through, such diseases, such emotional turbulences, such relationship problems, such external problems. Not only from there, even in the satsangs, we see because satsang is usually a place where all the people with trouble only come, right? So many, you can't. I never thought I grew up in a very nice environment, very nice childhood. I never thought this is life. The reality of life is very harsh. So it's a life is very, very harsh. And in such harsh life, so the Mother Kunti had seen a horrible life. Okay, she all sorts of abuses and ill treatment and cheating and everything. But at the time of her death, she asked Krishna, if I have to have another life, please fill my life with suffering. Okay. And because only when there's suffering, you think about God. If there is no suffering, you are the king of the world or the queen of the world. Life is going as you want, and people are in delusion. Whoever is successful is in delusion. Only the failures are grounded in reality. Okay? Only the people who suffer are compassionate. People who have not suffered, they're very hard. They don't mind creating suffering for others because they don't understand suffering themselves. See, because you understand suffering, you are also able to understand somebody else's suffering. So your infliction of suffering to somebody else is less. Okay. Provided you're thinking right. Otherwise, because you are suffering, you'll also make other people suffer. That's another thing. What I'm trying to say is, suffering is a very, very great opportunity. It's a blessing of Bhagwan for you to wake up. Until Siddhartha saw suffering, and he only saw 3 sufferings. He saw somebody dead, somebody ill, somebody getting old. That was enough. He only saw three scenes. It was enough for him to drop his dream. He was living a beautiful dream, okay? The kind of dream we all wish to live. He had one palace each for one season. He had all the finest women and alcohol and all the luxuries that you desire for. He was a prince. The entire kingdom was his. And the father was so supportive, he wanted him to be Chakravarti, the greatest king. He had the most ideal life. He discarded everything. The entire dream he discarded because of seeing 3 suffering. How many sufferings have you seen? Dina? The suffering is there for you to pay more attention to Atma. The more the suffering, please understand, Bhagwan is showing special grace on you. More the suffering, you have more opening to see, to wake up. If suffering is not there, you'll not wake up. If the dream is good, will you want to wake up?
No.
So you should be happy, you should be thankful. Thankful to God that you are seeing suffering in life, that you are able to understand it, you're able to ask why, and you're able to get out. That is exactly why it is there.
But the other question that I had was what Kavita ji asked that time. So why are there so many projections? As in, if you see, the population is still growing, and it's just adding to more chaos, more unemployment, and more conflicts. And
all of that boils down to how it affects you. See, your problem is not population growing. Your problem is, if population grows, what will happen to me? It will mean lesser jobs for me, lesser money, resources for me. Ultimately, your question is, what will happen to me if that happens? Right? Your problem is not the world. Your problem is what happens in the world, how it affects you. See, you had no problem of Ebola. Did you ever thought about Ebola? Ebola was happening, some part of the world. You never thought about it. But Corona, you're worried about because it can happen to you.
Yeah.
Right? Both are equally deadly diseases. But you worried about Corona more because it can come to your doorstep. Ebola didn't come. So the world expanding, the world having billions, 100 billion people is not the problem. The problem is how it affects you. And the problem how it affects you is because you think you're the body. Your notion that I am the body is the problem. You think you're the body, that's why you have the fear. What will happen? When you say what will happen to me, your me is body. So the problem is not 7 billion people. The problem is I am this woman body.
No, my question was, why are there so many projections in Brahman?
Brahman is an artist, okay? Brahman is like an artist.
And why did the dream start in the first place? Why did was there a purpose behind it, or it's just happening unconsciously?
In Brahman, there is no unconscious. It's a conscious creation. So I told the conscious creation of Brahman is called, it's Maya. It's beautiful. The creation of Brahman is beautiful. Okay,
Right.
just keep the human beings out of the picture and look
Yeah,
at
when you look at nature, you feel that everything is perfect. But
it's
when
perfect.
you right.
Okay, so in the creation, there's a second level of creation, which is individual creation. The individual creation is what is the problem. The 7 billion people is individual creation.
Right.
Okay, all the governments have been breaking, hum do, hamare do. But these people are making 7, 8 children, 10 children, 12 children. Okay, so and in unconscious, there is unconscious multiplying. Okay, if you're conscious, will you create like that?
Yeah.
Can you have 3 children in Bangalore? You need 2 crores for one child to raise a child. Right?
The problem is not exactly the population, but the
No,
unenlightened
see, I am
beings
telling,
harming
I am
each
telling,
other. That is what is
no,
causing.
that is not the problem. See, there is no problem apart from you. You are the problem. All this is your projection. You tell me why you're projecting all this. Enlightened being is not seeing all this. Okay? The other person, your family, your parents are very happy. Are they crying, or why is they suffering? They are happy. They're in their own world. Everybody else is happy. You are only seeing this because you are creating it. You tell me why you are creating this miserable world. I am not creating it. I am actually your projection, because you're projecting. I'm coming here because you had a vasana of understanding Atma Gnana. You're projecting me and speaking, making me speak all these things. I don't exist. None of this exists. You're projecting all of this and experiencing this. Is all of this there when you are in deep sleep?
No.
Are you there when you're in deep sleep?
Yes.
You are there. That means you are constant, and whatever is coming, you're projecting. Right? If you are part of the projection, you should also disappear, right? You are not part of the projection. You are the one who is projecting. So you tell me why you're projecting the suffering.
No, but I see it within your closed ones hurting you. It's
You tell me
something
why.
beyond your control.
No, you're doing it. You're projecting it. If you change something in you, that projection will stop. If you change something in you, the projection will stop. That is what is called enlightenment. When Prince Siddhartha changed something or realized something in him, the entire world became Brahman. The entire ignorance, not only of him, of the entire universe disappeared. If you change something in you, the world will change. You will start experiencing a different world. The world will no longer be the same. You are right now not experiencing the world. You're experiencing your own vasanas, unconscious vasanas. So many picked up programs and data all mixed together are throwing some results, and you're seeing that and experiencing that, which is not reality. When you become free from that, you will experience the real existence, which is filled with bliss. Okay, so work on that. That is the message of Atma Gnana. You change, your perception will change. It's nothing to do with the world. Please understand. It's all you. This is all your projection. And don't go to change the world. Atma Gnana is not about changing the world. It's not religion. It's not missionary. It's not going and telling you have to change, you have to uplift. We are not here to change the world. You're not here to enlighten the world. You are here to realize your truth, who you are. That's all. Then everything is taken care of. If you realize you're Brahman, that's all.
And you spoke about acceptance. So sometimes I'm confused about where to draw the line. Like,
No, is
as
the
in,
answer clear for the previous question? Do you accept
yes,
that you are the problem?
yes, to some extent, as I said, even that is your own projection. So that
No.
is
Tell
clear.
me how you are not the problem. You are the problem. When I say you, I mean the programs that are running inside you, the unconscious programs are the problem. You remove those programs. Do you have this question when you're in deep sleep?
No,
You're in bliss. Do you have this question when you're lost in watching some movie?
no,
Because your mind has become silent. Do you have this question when you're immersed in some activity that you love?
no.
No, mind has become silent. So clearly, at all these points of time, you're in the same world. Clearly, it is some thought patterns that are coming at some point in time. Resolve them. Why do you want to resolve the world? When you resolve them, the world, you will see the world also shifts, changes. Because you are the world. If you change, the world changes. It's not the other way around. The world change, then I will become enlightened. No. Let the world change. The world will never change. The world will always have wars. It will always be the way it is. But when you change, your experience in life change, and what you attract changes. Right now, you're attracting those experiences, those images, those sights. Okay, when you change, you will not entertain those attractions anymore.
So as a individual,
So, did you understand you're the problem? So, who's the problem, Tina?
I don't know, maybe me, but
No,
no, but
no. It is me. It is you. I don't know. Maybe you. What makes you say I don't know? Maybe me. You still think you're still
because
shifting the blame on somebody else.
somebody coming and verbally abusing you without you speaking a word, that I mean,
It is your fault. I told you, know how it is your fault. I told you, why would that person do that? It is a karma that you attracted. It came to you because there was a magnet inside you. See, you put the magnet and the iron close by, and the magnet attracts the iron, the thing, right? The metal. You can't tell the metal came and poked the magnet. The magnet has the magnetic field. It's attracting. You are attracting such experiences. Why are you attracting it? Because you have that impression in you. Why that impression is there in you? Because you have done it to somebody else in unconscious very long time ago.
so now Pratik spoke about cheating. Like, as in your experience, you've never cheated anybody in your life, but you experience somebody else cheating you or abusing you, and you feel that why did this happen to me? So,
See,
you feel it's
life is not 60 years. I told you about Chidabhasa and mind combination. Right? Again, you use the gnana. The gnana is the Chidabhasa and the mind combination uses the body. Once the body dies, they move to another body and they continue because there is no gnana of self. They do actions, and actions have results. And unconsciousness, thinking they're the body, they do so many good karma and bad karma. So many things they do. Okay. Now there's no way that that individual can experience the result of all that karma in that particular lifetime. So when they take a new body, the results start showing up. That result, this law of karma is the law set by Bhagwan. It is the will of Bhagwan, if you can say. Okay, it is the rule. It is the order in the universe. There is an order in the universe, right? See, in the we live in the Bangalore city. There's so much chaos. Accidents happen, right, in the road, in the street, because there's so much of traffic and vehicles. Now multiply that by infinite times. Those infinite amount of objects are there in space. Is there any accident happening in space?
no.
The universe is, there's chaos in the universe, but there's order. That order is the raw law of Bhagwan. The gravitational force is an order. Your body temperature is in order. There is order in every aspect of life. That order is the principle of Bhagwan operating. And that principle also operates as law of karma. Law of karma states, whatever you do think you are doing will bring the result to you. Okay. Now that you, it doesn't go by body. Okay, it goes as Chidabhasa and mind combination, because that is the one who has the doership feeling. Body doesn't have doership feeling. Okay, body is just an instrument. Like how you take the scissor and cut, the scissor doesn't have feeling. The doer you have the feeling, right? So the karma is not for the body. Karma is for the Chidabhasa and the mind combination. You did something, only that comes back to you. And not only to you, I don't think I'm such a great person, somebody should not abuse me. It happens to even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He got cancer. Compared to an ordinary being, an enlightened being gets more abuses. Okay? Because people can't accept somebody's enlightened. The ego can't tolerate that somebody that I'm seeing has realized God. Okay? They're subject to more abuse. So Bhagwan Osho was the most abused, and there he was written about badly and defamed so much. So what is your problem? They are able to handle that. Whatever you have done, if it comes back to you a little, why you are not able to handle it? The problem is not the result coming to you. The problem is your inability to handle it. And you're still unable to handle it because you think you're the body. And you think that somebody is doing something to me. Nobody is doing anything to you. It is your own creation coming back to you. And that is why only certain things happen to you in a certain way. And it happens very intelligently. Okay? If you meet with an accident also, so many things are taken care of for you. Okay? Everything doesn't collapse. If you observe in your life, if one thing is going wrong in your life, the other things are running fine in your life. So they sustain you. Okay, so I met with a very bad accident 2 years ago on the two-wheeler. My wife had a very bad injury, shoulder was dislocated. But for me, only my only my foot got hurt. So I was able to continue with, otherwise there's only two of us. So we're not able to, of course, there are other people who are helping and all that. So that support system is still there. That is the grace of Bhagwan. Don't think everything will collapse. But in your mind, everything is collapsed. You act as if the whole world has fallen on your head. Some little karma has come to you. But even in that bad experience, you're not seeing the blessings that is running around. People are taking care of you. Food is there, money is there in your account, food is there, you're able to see, you're able to operate, you're able to think. All that is grace. Even if something bad, even if somebody's abusing you, that is happening in an intelligent way. It is not happening in a chaotic way.
So you said it's happening in an intelligent way. Then
Yeah.
if it is a dream and it's everything is a projection in Brahman, so as a individual jiva, should I, what is my role in the dream? Should I just continue to play along in this dream, or should I make every effort to wake up from the dream?
What do you think? First of all, you should become clear of what is when you say my role, who is that my? Who is that me?
No, if you said that everything is taken care and it's happening in an intelligent way, then should we? I mean, get involved in it, or as an individual?
You're also part of that intelligence. That Bhagwan's intelligence is not operating excluding you, no? You're also part of the intelligence. He's operating through your body and mind also.
Right.
That body and mind, that intelligence will operate through you. It will do actions, it will tell, all the words will come out, actions will happen. That is also intelligence operating only.
Right, but it has chosen to project a dream character. But now we are doing like, if I am choosing to end the dream, like to wake up from the dream, so it's like I don't. It's like the reverse process of Bhagwan's will.
No, to wake up from the dream, you cannot wake up without Bhagwan's will. See, that's why there is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Okay? Creation, sustenance, destruction. The Brahman alone creates, Brahman alone sustains, Brahman alone destroys. When Bhagwan wills that, okay, this person has had it enough, they need to go out of the dream, he appears as a guru. That's why I said Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, and gives the teaching of Atma Gnana. That is the greatest blessing. Okay? When that is there, you capture that. If you discard that, you will lose the opportunity. Later, you don't know when you'll get the opportunity. How many more lifetimes later you'll get the opportunity. So Bhagwan's grace only comes as Guru. Bhagwan himself comes as Guru. Guru is not an individual. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Because nobody can speak about Bhagwan apart from Bhagwan himself. So Bhagwan comes. If you're receiving the teaching, it is Bhagwan's will for you to receive the teachings. You tell me, from your own effort, where will you get this teaching that you're getting? Which book, which Google, which place will you get this teaching?
Just happen. But
It happens. It happens because Bhagwan willed. It is universal will. If Bhagwan wills and you are ripe, it will happen. So even that is your projection, okay? The Guru is also your projection, but you have come to that stage, okay? Because you had some vasana of Guru and you have done some sadhana sometime, you have that impression in you. That impression is attracting. If that impression was not there in you, we would not connect. You understand?
right.
So everything is ultimately what impressions you have. And the journey is to become free from all impressions. Once this Atma Gnana is done, that's why it's Lao Tzu said, when you are ready, the master will appear. And when you're really ready, the master will disappear. Okay? When you're ready for Atma Gnana, the master will appear. When you attain Atma Gnana, Aparoksha Gnana, I told you Paroksha Gnana, no? The master is there to give Paroksha Gnana. The Paroksha Gnana will lead to Aparoksha Gnana. When Aparoksha Gnana happens, you will become the master. Then the external master is no longer necessary for the Atma Gnana. Okay, there's no more duality between you and the external master in that sense.
Yeah.
Is it clear, Beena? So why this is there? Why all this is there? Life is cooking. It is there for you to cook. Without the fire, can you cook? Life is fire. The cooking happens through husband, through wife, through parents, through children, through job, okay, through political scenario, to society, to diseases, the kicks in life. You get kicked in life. If you don't get kicked, you won't wake up. Okay? If you have a very good marriage, enlightenment is very far away. If you have a bad marriage, enlightenment is today. See, Prasad and Pallavi are agreeing. Okay? So whatever is happening, accept this as a will of Bhagwan. And even in that happening, even in that chaos, there is an order and intelligence. See that, respect that, and understand your compass should always point back to the self. All this is there so that you can turn your attention from this back to the self. So you have only two parts. There is only gravity and grace. There are two pulls. There's a pull downwards, which is gravity. There's a pull upwards, which is grace. The gravity is a universal pull. Everything in the universal is pulled by nature. And the pull is downwards. It's a pull of vasana. Everything is running because of vasana. It's a downward pull, unconscious patterns. Because of some grace comes a upward pull, which is called Atma Gnana. That is the grace of the Bhagwan. It's the grace of the Guru. That pulls you out of the vasanas. So you have only two directions. Decide, are you going more into vasanas, unconscious behavior, or are you rising out of, are you becoming a witness to your body and mind and becoming free from all the unconscious behavior, becoming deeply silent, realizing your true nature. Once you realize your true nature, that will become your permanent state. That is called Sahaja Samadhi. So even with your eyes open, you will be, even with interacting with the world, your inner peace, your inner knowledge will never be disturbed. That is called mukti. And you will, that journey will continue as long as the body is there. So whatever body expiry date your body has, 50, 60 years. At that time, there will be no more rebirth because there's no more individual, there's no individual desire, there's no more strong patterns of the mind to move to another body, to project another body. Everything just dissolves back into pure existence. So your story ends there. If that doesn't happen, if you have not realized when you're alive, you will take another birth. It will not happen at the time of death. There is no mukti at the time of death. Please understand. It is only Jivan Mukti. If you don't get mukti when you're alive, again, one more birth. So you decide what you want. Do you want to become liberated when you're here, or you want to continue with the vasanas? That's the choice that you have as a human being. Scary. So I think we have crossed over the time, and we have exceeded 1 hour extra as well. Any questions, anybody? So Prasad and Pallaviji, everything is clear?
Yes, everything is clear, Krishnaji. I had a couple of questions. It's okay, I'll ask in next class. That's fine.
Okay, Prasadji, doership is clear?
Yeah, doership, nobody is doing.
Not everything is happening. In the ocean, waves come, waves fall. Who, can't say a doership is just a I thought. If you resolve that, it's an enlightened life. Okay. And doership.
Many of the points that I had come across in my life, either the elders have told, or I have read, or wherever I have heard, or whatever, many of the points got connected today. Actually, it was all somebody just came and told something, and when, I mean, it's all in different contexts, different people, different instances. All those kind of got connected with things that you told today.
So what is the conclusion?
I'm
enlightened.
seriously witnessing
Your
what's
husband is telling
happening
you're
now.
enlightened. That's a very great, significant achievement in life.
No, that I should realize, not somebody will just come and tell, right?
No, that if you tell he's enlightened, that is even greater.
Okay.
So Prasadji, you should wait for the day when your wife tells that you are enlightened. Fine.
Yeah, I ordered a yellow light now.
Yes, so Pallaviji, what is the conclusion you were saying?
I'm witnessing what is happening. What is happening?
Yeah. Now, who is that I am?
I am Brahman.
I am Brahman. I am, when you say I am, usually when you say I am, the image of your body appears. Okay? The image of your identity appears, your name appears. So you should discard neti, not this. I am not this. I am not this. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not I'm not actually even the I am feeling also. I am the real sun. I'm not even the reflected sun. I am the pure I. Okay? But how do you go there? Is by holding on to the I am feeling. Okay? So this we are not able to do. Now you've heard the class. Whenever try to sit more, this is Shravana. Manana and Nidhyasa you can combine. You sit silently, keep your attention in the heart center, hold on to the feeling of I am. And whatever thought you get, say not this, I am not this. Stay with the feeling of I am and know that I am Brahman. Okay. Then what happens is you will attain what is called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi means there will be no thoughts in the mind. A thoughtless awareness will remain. You will be aware, alert, the mind will be functioning without thought. It's not sleep, it's not unconscious. You're aware and you're conscious, but thoughtless. That is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The more, and that's called Gnana Samadhi. That you enter into that with the teaching of the Guru and the scripture. I am Brahman, I am not this. The mind becomes silent. You experience Nirvikalpa. Try to stay more in the Nirvikalpa. And once you open your eyes and start dealing with the word, you will see that the Nirvikalpa Samadhi is always there in the background. Okay? You'll operate with in the state of Samadhi with the eyes open. Shanti ji, you become Shant.
Yeah, I think this was a nice session. Got to understand a lot of things.
So what is the conclusion?
I am Brahmas. I am Param Brahman.
Aham Brahmasmi. The I am in me. It's not to say that ego is Brahman. Not ego is Brahman. I thought is not Brahman. I am in me is the pointer to the Brahman. Meenakshi ji,
Yes, Krishna ji.
what is the conclusion? What have we understood? So much we spoke about. Chidabhasa, seer, seen. And
We have to witness everything what's happening.
What?
Witness everything what's happening.
Who is the we?
We is Brahman, has to witness.
Brahman is we.
It's
There is no we in Brahman.
Chidabhasa. There is no we actually. Yeah, that's true. So have to witness everything. That's it.
Who has to witness?
Brahman.
Brahman. So become a sakshi to the play.
Around us.
To things around you. Biplav ji, clear?
Yes.
So, क्या समझ में आया?
Well, like we should not react.
We.
No.
Again, we.
Accept. We. I mean, I'll say I as in Chidabhasa, which is reflecting into me, and I should not react to whatever is the situation, be good or bad. I should witness it and feel like it's happening, and accept as it is. And
so don't say I should not react.
Non-doership is we have to understand, like the ego is it comes from I have done it, or this is mine, I have achieved it. This is the ego. We should I mean, I should not fall in this trap.
Correct.
And keep away from this. So this is what, like, everything is happening, I have to do, this is my duty, and just detach whatever it's reward, award, abuse, whatever it is. I should detach myself from this and witness it, and just be calm and cool and just witness. Yeah.
Correct. And who are you?
I am the reflection in me, in this body is the Chidabhasa, is the Param Brahman which is there. So
that's all.
And within this life only, I have to realize the mukti is not after death, as you said. Like, we have to realize it while in full awareness. Correct. Full consciousness, and then only I am actually mukti. I'll get the mukti.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Perfect. You got it right. So Pratik, clear?
Yes, Krishna ji.
What is clear? What did you understand?
First of all, that I shouldn't think that I am the body or the mind. I am like human or the pure consciousness, and we just things are happening.
No, not that you should not think. So don't ever say I should not react, I should not think, I should not. Enquire, are you really the mind? With the basis of the teaching of Atma Gnana and the scriptures, enquire, am I really the body? How can I be the body? So enquire, are you the body and mind? And arrive at your own conclusion. and that conclusion will match with the scriptures. Then you don't even have to say, I should not react, I should not get angry and all. All that will not happen by default. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, and to inquire is to practice. I should sit in silence for some time and witness the thoughts. And whenever the thoughts come, we have to understand not the body and to.
Yeah. So when you're sitting, nididhyasa means sit silently. We start with I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I am not the identities that I carry. I am Brahman. Okay. And you stay with the thought, I am Brahman. And when your mind, if you throws up thoughts, don't engage with the thoughts. Just become witness to the thought. The thought will arise. If you don't engage, it will fall down. If you react to the thought, you will go with the thought. It'll lead you somewhere. Don't get led by the thought. Just become a witness. Again, go back to I am Brahman and keep your attention in the heart center, the feeling of I am here. Okay, and fall into thoughtless awareness, nirvikalpa samadhi. Okay. In the next session, we'll do that. But if until the next session, don't wait for the session. Sit more and more. No, you can't make excuses for not sitting. This is not meditation. Okay, it's called nididhyasa. Nididhyasa means being Brahman, sitting as Brahman. Okay, and burns out all the impressions. Spend more time. There is so much that you do which is unconscious and which is unnecessary. As habitually you spend. If you look at the analytics of your social media, it will show you how much time you spent on your social media platform. You don't need to spend so much time, right? It's just engaging with more impressions, and you're seeing somebody else's impressions, and a lot of unnecessary interaction is happening. Spend more time in the truth, Sat. Okay, sit more until the next session, where we'll do it together. Until then, sit as I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. This is the sadhana. Okay. Yes, Beena. Beena, all answers clear. Who is the problem?
Yeah, I think it's more clear now.
Who is the problem?
I guess it's me.
You guess. You
Not
still
I
guess.
it's me. Not.
Okay, so how will you solve the problem? What is the solution?
Yeah, as I said, just being a witness to everything that is happening, accepting it gracefully.
The solution is move more towards the light. Stop paying attention to the darkness. Stop paying attention to the negative. Pay more attention to the positive. Move your mind towards the divine. Read about the enlightened lives of Ramakrishna or Buddha. Move your mind towards the teachings of Atma Gnana. Move your mind in Gnana and in Seva if possible. Start, if you see suffering in the world, start serving the world. Okay, because if you see suffering, you also have the ability to do something about it. Don't simply keep saying there's suffering in the world. Do something about it. See, I can also say there's suffering in the world and I can be depressed. Instead, I'm doing a positive action. By teaching, by involving in teaching, I am reducing the suffering of 10 people. That is a significant contribution. Okay, and if I remove your suffering, you will not create suffering for another person. Okay, that fractal grows. So involve in some constructive activity. Okay, so if you say if I have diabetes and I have diabetes, that is focusing on the negative. Instead, say I will do exercise, I will be more active, I will eat the right food. Don't say, I will not eat this food. There is a pressure on the mind. Oh, I should not eat sugar. Instead, say, I will eat healthy food. I will explore healthy recipes. Move your mind to the positive action. Ultimately, there should be some translation in action.
Right.
Right? So that action will actually make the gnana concrete. Until it translates to action, it will only be intellectual.
Right.
When the gnana is solidified, it translates to enlightened action. And that enlightened action is called service.
Right.
So involve yourself in some positive action with whatever skills you have. See how you can serve the world, how you can help the world. When I say world, don't think of the world. Even one person, one being is the world. Okay? See how you can bring positive transformation. So there's a beautiful Zen story that I love. A disciple goes to the master and he says, Master, I am depressed, I'm discouraged. What do I do? The master simply says, encourage others. That's all. In the process of doing for the other, your vessel will get cleaned. Okay?
So it's more like, in my case, like when you see it within your close family, you get these questions as like, why is the dream going on? Why are these projections happening? Where there's so much conflict, so much hurt, and and it's within your, close, within the family. So
For your
it's
family, I have a simple solution. Change the family. Get married, you'll get a new family. Get married to a wise person, new family. That's your creation. Why aren't you doing that? Why didn't you explore that option, changing the family?
especially if you're living in a joint family, it's even more like, there's so many things happening. And
Create your own family, yaar. Create it the way you want it. Create an enlightened family. Create an enlightened child. You are Brahman. You can create whatever you want. Why are you forgetting your abilities? Create your family. See, me and my wife, from the last, we got married 10 years ago. From 10 years, all our weekends have been this only. All our weekends have been satsang and teaching. Create whatever you want. It's your life. You have a choice. Create a child. Create an enlightened child. Create a Vivekananda. Vivekananda was made because of his mother. Not much, of course, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, but his mother was the one who made him put all the right seeds so that when he meets a Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he's able to transform. Such abilities you have and you're wasting it and you're cribbing. If you don't like the family, change the family. Create a new family. Tell me this is not possible. Is it not a practical solution?
you can't change your parents.
No, I'm not saying change your parents here. I'm saying bring some positive action. Bring some positivity in the environment. Associate yourself with the right people. Don't worry about the wrong people that exist. You might have some wrong relationships. Focus on what you want. Then you will attract the right relationship. Okay? And when that right relationship comes, the wrong relationship will fall by themselves. You understand? Don't focus on cutting off or destroying or changing or influencing the wrong thing, the negative. Focus more on the positive. This is a simple spiritual principle. Whatever you pay attention to, it grows. The reason is, whatever you pay attention to grows. If you pay attention to the negative grows. Like if you have pain in your hand, you keep on focusing on the pain grows.
Right.
Okay, if you distract yourself, you forget the pain, right? So the more you pay attention to the negative, it will grow, it will multiply. Because the one who is seeing is Brahman, not you. So pay to the positive, even if it's a very small positive, okay? That will multiply. But pay attention. Pay attention to the positive. It will multiply, it will grow, and it will fill your life. Okay, thank you all for extending for 1.5 hours more. I hope we covered a lot of topics today. I know it will be hard to recollect, so don't worry about recollection. The only thing that you need to recollect is this practice that I have told you of sitting silently with the thought Aham Brahmasmi. Keep your attention in the I am and know that the I am is Chidabhasa. And the mind has some vasanas it will throw, become a Sakshi. And sit as long as you can. If your body, because you're not habituated, your body will start aching, just move around, come back again and sit. Sit more and more, not at one stretch. With intervals and recreation, sit more and more. The focus should be sitting more as Aham Brahmasmi. Then you become aware of what is there. The mind starts throwing out all the garbage. You become witness to it. What would have later become situations, you will prevent them and destroy them right now by observing them as vasanas. If you don't become aware of them now, they'll become situations and come to you. Okay? So resolve them within and don't get dragged by any negative thought. Oh, it's not happening, I'm not able to do, I'm getting too many thoughts, all that. Again, I ask, who am I? Who is getting the thought? Okay? If you get too many thoughts, ask who is getting the thought. Either you use who am I and go back to I, or you say I am Brahman and go back to I. Okay? But the physical point for you is the heart center here. Center of the chest, where you have the feeling of I am, the pure I am. So this is the conclusion. Try to sit silently more and more. Okay? Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Krishna ji.
Hari Om.
Thank you,
Thank
Krishna
you.
ji.
Thanks.
Thank you.